Good evening, everybody. I'm just letting y'all know I'm running on nothing but fumes. Nothing but fumes. Good evening, everybody. It's been a doozy today. I feel like I'm getting worse, but I could not do the show. So I really am. I just took more Sudafed. Uh, a little bit before the show, maybe 15 minutes. So I apologize if I'm cloudy. I apologize if I'm out of it. I apologize if I just don't seem very energetic tonight. But I did do a lot of work, even though I felt like crap. I did do a lot of work to the channel. We got a new background. We got the everywhere CJ, everywhere Phil. CJ, see what I'm saying? Uh, no sleep again. Feeling like dog. Even worse than yesterday. And I was just like, I can't do it 2 nights in a row where I'm not on. I can't do it. I miss you guys. The only thing is I probably won't be standing outside in the cold all day tomorrow or spending 10 hours of driving. So that's probably one thing I'm not going to be able to do. So I don't know. It's been a couple days now. Usually I don't get sick. Usually the immune system's banging, but I don't know. Maybe because I've been working so hard nonstop for crazy 2 months in a row. So I don't know. It's my turn, right? Everybody else was getting sick. Everybody else was getting sick. Well, we got some. Speaking of something new, we got some breaking news, y'all. We have a lot. We got some breaking news. Holy shit. Natalie Holloway, Jordan Vandersloot confesses. Long Island SK. More stuff comes out about that. Fox Hollow Farms, another victim identified. New documents with Idaho4. Questions about the Delphi defense, if they're even going to be around anymore. A lot of stuff tonight, but we got some new Idaho4 documents too. But I am going to cover a couple little breaking news things. Just a couple minutes here and there. Just about it's just crazy. I can't believe the dude finally confessed. You know what I'm saying? Can't believe he finally confessed. So I'm going to go ahead and say what's up to everybody. Then we're going to switch to the breaking news, and then we're going to get into the topic of the evening. I'm going to get the breaking news out of the way, and then we'll get into the topic. Thank you all for hanging out. Why do I seem like I'm off center? There. Maybe. I don't. Do I seem like I'm off center? Maybe. I don't know. Maybe I do. I don't know. Did I go the wrong way? What's up, Caddy? Good evening. What's up, D? What's up, Stardust? I'm on fumes, y'all. What's up, Kib Kitty? Bianca. Thank you for hopping in. Kelly, Jacqueline. What's up, Debre? What's up, Remy? How you doing tonight? We're going to be having a special show on Saturday. I'm going to let you guys know here in a few minutes. I'm going to say what's up to everybody first. I sent the invite. What's up, Crystal? I sent the invite, Scarlett, to some of my favorite peeps for a panel. Yeah, I'm trying. What's up, Melissa? Do Icon Photo. What's up? What's up, Lori? I'm feeling worse, actually. But I worked my ass off today. For people in the background that know about all the work I was doing, they know I was probably doing a hell of a lot more work than I should have been. But you can't tell someone's drive to take a break. You know what I mean? I think that's why I'm sick because it's my body's way of saying, "Yo, dude, you need to take a break." Okay, body. Okay, body. Nothing you can do about it, you know. You take medicine, but what's up, you know? What's up, cowboy? Who confessed? Jordan Vandersloot. Jordan Vandersloot finally confessed. We're gonna play that first. Breaking news first. So you notice you got a little background here. You got Everywhereville CJ up at the top. Different things I worked on. So what's up, Kevin? How you doing, bro? Katrina. So I got a new computer a couple of weeks ago or so because the other one just wasn't even running the show anymore. I had no choice. I had no choice. I had to do it. No choice. So I went out and got a computer, and I had to take all the files from the old one and put them to the new one. So yesterday or the day before, my mind's a blur right now. I was doing a little bit of file organizing. You know, I was trying to like get rid of stuff that I might have duplicates of, rearrange, reorganize. It didn't feel good. I wasn't streaming, but I still wanted to do some work. So I needed to organize everything because I had not organized anything since I started doing the show. Everything was in a folder here, there, you know, whatever. As in doing that, because when different things were getting taken away in the Idaho4 case, you know, where stuff would be available and then all of a sudden, poof, it's gone. Well, one night back when we were digging into the grub truck back in late December, somewhere around there, late December, late December, somewhere around there. We were going through it, and I was like, man, I hope this shit don't disappear. So I went to bed one night and I recorded it. So that way, if it ever did disappear, well, here, amongst some other little gems that I had made from back then, I found that folder. I was like, oh shit, I thought I had lost it. Here I was using, you know, not even my own. I had to go back to my old shows because that's the only way that I could use my own shit, right? Well, I found the whole thing. Then I found this breaking news thing. But a couple other things too. But with the grub truck, I was like, you know what we should do? We've all kind of, you know, I see your guys' chats, and I see how a lot of people still want to do the grub truck. You guys want us to do a fresh grub truck, me and Unraveled, Yoli on panel. So what I'm going to do is Saturday from like probably noon until 8 p.m. We're going to watch the whole thing in its entirety. We're going to have a power panel up there, a bunch of people, and we're going to be able to, I'm dedicating 8 hours. Dedicating 8 hours to go through the whole 4.5 hour grub truck. And that doesn't include the intro. So that'll give plenty of time to rewind, double check, If you guys see something, put it in chat. If we see something new, we're going to go off our old notes. We're going to notate stuff for you. So if there's something you haven't noticed that we did, we can share ideas. So from Saturday, from around noon to 8 p.m., is going to be from beginning to end coincidences, or questions. From beginning to end, we're going to go through the whole thing. And I'll be there for sure. We'll be having different people, most of them together at the same time. Different people will have to hop in or hop out at different times just because, you know, it's going to be a long show. But I will be here the whole time. We're going to go through the whole thing one more time. And that'll be the finale. Then we're going to get on them body cams. But tonight, we're going to get into a little bit of breaking news. This is the first one. This is Jordan Vandersloot actually takes a plea deal and confesses to unaliving Natalie Holloway 18 years later. And not only takes the plea deal to admit it, says what he did. Says what he did. Thank you, Deborah. I appreciate that. 20 years, yes. Oh, wow. Thank you. Yes, Holly, I have the complete grub truck from the absolute very first second to the last second, straight from the grub truck stream. That's where we were streaming it. From back then, was from the original grub truck. And then when we went to do our latest deep dive a couple months ago, we were using J for Justices because I couldn't use my old shows. So, but going through these, oh yeah. I found this breaking news thing too. Speaking of breaking news, here we go.
Just getting we heard Beth Holloway, and we were, and Shanley Painter reported that we were going to get the transcript of that interview, the confession from Jordan Vandersloot, and we're just getting it now. The prosecutors have released it. So because we're just getting it now, we're just going to read it rather than take the time to put it into a document. So it starts with Jordan Vandersloot saying, plus, this is a partial transcript. She asked to go back to her hotel, but I was just trying to get dropped off a little bit further away from her hotel so we could, walk back to her hotel and might still get a chance to be with her. Okay, that's what I was hoping for. Okay, says the interviewer. So what happens? Vandersloot, and Deepak drops me off at another place and a little right of the Marriott Hotel known as the Fisherman's Huts. This is a place not so far from, the next hotel is the Marriott. The next hotel after that, another one is another Marriott, which is timeshare, and then the Holiday Inn, and we walk along the beach. All right, they get out. Come on now, what happens? Well, they leave, talking about his two friends, Deepak and Satish. They leave until they go back to the room. I assume they go back to the room. And then they get to their car and they leave. And actually, I'm with Natalie, walking along the beach, and I find a space to get to before we get to the Marriott where I lay her down. We lay down together in the sand and we start kissing each other. I start to get her to kiss me again, and we start kissing each other. And I start feeling her up, and she tells me no. She tells me she doesn't want me to feel her up. I insist. I keep feeling her up either way, and she knees me. She ends up kneeing me in the crotch. When she knees me in the crotch, I get up on the beach and I kick her extremely hard in the face. Yeah, she's laying there.
Okay, hold on a second. I didn't know it was all like this, yo. I'm not gonna play the closed captioning, but damn. So, you can hit mute. I'll take the trigger warning away once it's, you know what I'm saying? My lord. Thank you all for coming in to hang out tonight. I appreciate it. We'll be getting into this other stuff here soon. Right, detective?
Unconscious, possibly even dead, but definitely unconscious. And I see her right next to, there's a huge cinder block laying on the beach. You say cinder block, says the interviewer. I'm looking at the walls like these. He points to the walls. Exactly the same, says Vandersloot. I see a huge cinder block laying on the beach, and I take this and I smash her head with it completely. Yes, smash her face, basically, until it collapses in. Even though it's dark, I can see her face is collapsed in. Afterwards, I don't exactly know. I'm scared. I don't know what to do. I decide to take her and I put her into the ocean. So I grab her, pull her, walk her into the ocean, push her off. I wake up, my knees in the ocean. I push her as far as I can, or push her off into the ocean, into the sea. And then I get out and I walk home. Wow.
Yeah.
There it is.
Yeah, we brought a copy in, so we're able to see this transcript. Obviously, Beth Holloway was able to hear that, and during her news conference after, she did comments saying that it's shocking to hear the details, but parents have to hear the truth. And then she went on to talk about her daughter, how she was bright, young, dedicated woman, and that she was headed to medical school. And no doubt, did she ever have any doubt that she would complete medical school and go on to be a successful young woman? Michael, what are your thoughts? Ted read you the transcript. What are your thoughts for that?
My heart breaks. When I got married, my wife and I took a vacation to Aruba. Beautiful country, beautiful people. They take a lot of pride in how clean their country is and how low the crime rate is, right? So just imagine these parents, they sent their daughter went to Aruba and then she didn't come back. And now we find out this animal came from another country. And he basically, one of the very few crimes committed that year in that country was committed by him against their daughter. And when Ted read the transcripts, it was chilling. But I mean, it's really sad.
Yeah.
How much of it I believe it, because the prosecutors and the detectives and the investigators in our country spent decades extracting that. And this guy told the truth. He made a deal. He told the truth. I would have closure. If I were her parents, I would have some semblance of closure. It's no less sad, though.
You could tell that Beth believes him. Like, afterwards, talking about it, she definitely believes him. And that detail, as horrific as it is, that's what you needed, right? Because at the end of the day, if he just said, "Yeah, I killed her," with no detail, you're going to always think, "I don't believe him," or how. This answers the questions of his two friends. They were always part of this equation because he was, it was a threesome that was first with Natalie as they left. He talks about how they left. There was this version of the story that his dad helped him dispose of her body. Well, that now has been put to rest. So, Michael, that detail, as hard as it is, was, to your point, what they needed, the Holloways.
Yeah. And by the way, if a person steps back and thinks about it, the girl was clearly murdered. Whether it's from him or somebody, she was clearly murdered. She went to this country, a country with very low crime, and she didn't come back, right? It makes sense that she didn't just move there and change her name and disappear, right? Everybody knows that she was murdered. Something very, very sinister happened to this girl while she was on vacation. And now this actually fills in the piece. And
Yeah.
if someone were asking me, it's either Vandersloot or somebody just like Vandersloot. That is the way her life ended. I mean, Aruba's a small country. It's pretty much all.
So how did he get in a what's up, Dream Suburb? How did he get in a position to where he needed to what's up, Mike D? Needed to take a plea deal? How did he get, does anybody know? How did he get in a position where he had to take a plea deal? Because like what came out, yeah, it's been 18 years. It's been 18, he was... What? Are you serious, Yoli, or are you just fucking around? Like, what's up? Is that true? Wow.
Beach. It's a thin country. It's all beach. And so the thought that she died on a beach with a strange person who was a victim.
So that's how he was trying to extort the mom, was he was like, if you pay me, I'll tell you details? How fucking dumb can you be? Like, thank God he's that stupid. Whoa. Pay me and I'll confess to you? What the hell is that? It might be coming up.
Villain, a criminal, a monster. It makes sense. Even before they found Vandersloot, even before he was part of the lexicon, pretty much everybody knew that she reached that sort of a demise by somebody like Vandersloot. So how many of us were shocked when Vandersloot popped up last June in Alabama? Not many. We pretty much looked at him and said, that's kind of what we thought happened, right? People believed it was a foreign person in Aruba who did it before Vandersloot was found. Because again, Aruba is a country with very little crime, clean water, great people, great food. And they rave about how clean their water is and how low crime how much low crime they have. And I've been there. I took a long vacation. Those people, nobody believed that a national Arubian person did this. And this Vandersloot just confirms the hunches of many observers.
Yeah, definitely. And when you talk about Aruba, I mean, this story's been going on for nearly 20 years. And, when you talk about even just travel with your family, it's always tainted my view of Aruba, knowing that something like this happened here. And Michael, I appreciate what you have to say about Aruba. It's a beautiful place. I have never been there, but just such a tragic thing to have happened there. And when we talk about Beth Holloway today, when she said, this is better than closure, it is over. And that is getting justice for Natalie. Again, I just am so happy for that family, for those of us who have watched this case for the last nearly 20 years. Michael, just want to get some closing thoughts from you on this.
Yeah, my heart breaks for the family. And what I say is, if it's closure for you, it's closure for me. If you, the family of Natalie Holloway, if you're satisfied, I'm satisfied. Anyone watching this is satisfied.
Whoa, what the hell was that? Excuse me. All right, we got another breaking info. The Delphi is going to be televised.
The docket. That's right, Delphi. Cameras will be permitted in the courtroom for the first time in the high-profile Delphi murder trial after an order was issued by the judge on Tuesday. Now, cameras will be allowed inside the courtroom as Richard Allen, the man charged with killing Abigail Williams and Libby German in the Delphi case in 2017. Now, Mr. Allen's lawyers previously asked the judge to allow cameras in the court for all future proceedings. However, surprisingly, have you started to notice the trend here? It was the prosecutors who expressed quote, serious concerns, end quote, to the request, stating that it will be distracting. The prosecutors claimed that allowing cameras would create a circus atmosphere where 15-second video clips could give an inaccurate impression of the justice system. Despite these concerns, the judge ruled to allow cameras in the courtroom, and it's going to start Thursday at Thursday hearing. Now, the news media, defined as newspaper, periodicals, press associations, radio stations, television stations, or wire services will be permitted to broadcast the hearing. It's funny how the prosecutors say a 15-second clip could give an inaccurate impression of the court system. Well, I agree. Then let's televise it all so that inaccurate impression is not given. Now, the judge did make the following statement in the order. Quote, the court has determined that allowing recording of the October 19, 2023 hearing is permitted, provided that the means of recording will not distract the participants or impair the dignity of the proceedings, and the hearing itself is a non-confidential proceeding. The court therefore authorizes the recording and broadcasting of the hearing set for October 19th, 2023. Thursday's hearing is scheduled for 2 p.m. Eastern Time.
And I'll be trying to go live for that. I don't know how I'm going to be feeling in the morning, but since I'm not going to be making it up there tomorrow, I'm definitely going to make an attempt to try and be on. I can't make any promises. I feel worse than I did today, but I'm just going to keep trying. We got another breaking news. This is Fox Hollow Farms, and this is another victim was identified at the farm.
Well, there are mixed emotions this morning for an Indiana family that now has answers to a question that they've had for decades, which is what happened to Alan Livingston.
Investigators now confirming his remains were found at the former home of suspected serial killer Herb Baumeister. Livingston is the first man to be positively identified in this case since the 1990s. We talked to Alan's mother, Sharon, back in December. She submitted the DNA sample that led to the match after a push from her nephew.
Mm-hmm. See, if we covered this case back in the spring and a little bit in the wintertime, and back in the spring when we covered this case, they were urging people to use the 23andMe's and all of this other stuff so they could try and help identify the remains of all these victims that they were finding at this farm. They had all of these victims, they just didn't have a name or any DNA to go with it. So this is really important because from back in the spring, now you're probably going to hear a lot more about Fox Hollow Farms. And if you don't know about Fox Hollow Farms, Herb Baumeister is one of the worst SKs out there. If you don't know who Herb Baumeister is, just type in Evil CJ Herb B and it will pop up and you will see what I'm talking about. One of the worst. It's crazy if you ain't heard of him, because I didn't, and I was like, why haven't I? So definitely check it out. This is going to start. There's going to be more coming soon. Long Island, more coming out as well.
I'm happy and sad at the same time. Happy because Sharon got some closure, and I'm sad because we got confirmation that it's Alan. We were just all hoping Alan's out there alive somewhere, but he's not.
Just because we got one, yeah, we're thankful and we celebrated, but it's no more or no less important than number 2, number 3, number 10. And we've got to continue to put our nose back to that gravestone, get back to work.
Well, that was Hamilton County Coroner Jeff Jellison, who has helped lead that renewed push for answers in this case. Investigators believe that Baumeister killed at least 25 people in the 1990s. In
More,
1996, police found thousands of bone fragments in his Westfield property.
Right,
So if you
Scarlett?
know of someone missing from that time period, you are still urged to reach out to the coroner's office. We have that contact information right now at WTHR.com.
Whoops. Yeah, yeah, and you're right, Scarlett. Probably a lot more that aren't. What's up, typically? How you doing tonight? We got one more breaking news real quick, and then we're going to get into the topic of the evening. This is about the Long Island SK, and I'm just going to share this with you. When we check this out here, we're not going to watch the whole thing.
Let's make sure we have everybody. So, you know, before we start, Newsdays said they were late. I don't know if they're here. Yeah, okay, you made it. All right, good. There you are. And there's one other station that was late, and they're here. Okay, so then we don't have to wait. I wasn't going to wait anyway, but, you know, if they step in. We might have to go over a few things. I don't know. All right, when you're ready, you tell me, and I'll tell you I'm ready. Good afternoon, everybody. We're here today because new information has arisen in this case from witnesses who were so far unknown. Those witnesses, of which there are 4, have given us statements, 2 of whom have given us affidavits regarding this case, regarding Rex Uerman and Shannon Gilbert and Karen Vergata. Before I talk about them, first, I want you to be aware that here stands the commissioner, as you know, with me. And up until now, we have not made it known to the public that we have been working together on this case steadily since the time that I came to know Commissioner Harris a year ago, February. Up until that point, the police department was very resistant to receiving any kind of evidence or information from my office, from what I was doing.
What's up, Market Betty?
That all changed significantly when Commissioner Harris stepped in and we began to collaborate. And we've collaborated ever since. That collaboration has had fruit. And that fruit, at least, are the witnesses I'm going to be talking about today, as well as other evidence and information which we have shared together and with the police department, therefore with the task force. So it is true to say that our cooperation has given rise to more substantial, valuable evidence in the entire case of the Long Island serial killer. So with that in mind, I'm very pleased that Commissioner Harrison has seen fit to open his mind and to do what I'm suggesting has been done, contrary to all those who have come before him. And he's approaching this case in the right way. He's the right man for the job, and he's done his job well. As to the witnesses, as to the evidence, in no particular order of importance, because so much of it is important. I have stood as a beacon as a civilian beacon to the people who are involved in this case to come and talk where they didn't want to approach the police out of fear, out of apprehension, out of in some cases, a natural distaste for the police department because of the work these people were in. So they would then come to me and speak to me, and I would interview them, and we would then cooperate, them and the police department. And so with that in mind, the first 2 witnesses I'm going to talk about are both of them are not Suffolk County residents.
Okay. So that is the breaking news so far. We got more breaking news to go through. We got new documents for Idaho4. So here is the link for that. And give me 1 second and we'll go ahead and get it going. Thank you all for hanging out. I appreciate you. Let me get these documents up. All right. So we got the case of interest. Give me 1 second. We're going to read into these documents. Breaking. Yes. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. And then we got plenty of stuff to go in tonight. I don't know if you saw the title. It changed a bunch because I was just like, do I have the energy? I'm trying, y'all. I'm on fumes, but like I said, I give you 150. Now, when it comes to, I just was kind of chilling out, just chilling in the cut. There's one thing that you'll never see me do on any of my shows is I will never highlight people talking shit about other people, and I'll never highlight talking shit about other people myself. It's not that I don't care to respond to the dumb shit that gets said about me, because they don't have to answer to me. They have to answer to somebody else for shit that they want to say. I just don't really care because, number one, they just don't know. And number two, I just don't talk shit about nobody. So I hear you. Discord's a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? That's why people should not make up shit. But that's all. All right. So let's get into these documents here. It's sad what people are willing to do for attention. It's sad. All right, here we go. One of two. Let me zoom. Well, no, we'll just scoot it over a little bit. Hopefully I don't cut it off too much. So this is the order media request for JLR. That's awesome. Did he get accepted? Granted. Nice. Denied. Okay, yeah. Granted. So he can't. Hold on. Yeah, he can audio record. That's awesome. Congrats to him. Hold on. Let me do some of this shit real quick. We're going to chill out on the theme song there. We're going to... Oh, wrong one. Congrats, man. That's awesome. That's awesome. No, I personally don't know him, and I don't, it's not like we watch his shit or anything. But hey, man, it's a YouTuber that got access for some. Hell yeah, you know what I'm saying? Even though I may not agree with some shit, hell yeah. Congrats. That's awesome. Congrats to him. That's awesome. One day I will be in the courtroom myself. News Nation. News Nation. Granted. Denied, granted. Same thing. News Nation. I don't care to give News Nation a clap. I don't care to give News Nation a clap. Yeah, I mean, I don't hey man, it's community. You know what I'm saying? Like I listen. Like I always say, like it's about community. If people put all their energy, you know, to the right thing and quit the negative shit and quit all the bashing and the shit talking and the negativity and the drama and the woe is me and all this other shit and put it towards positive energy. Can you imagine what this for? Look at this now. It's community, man. Like I don't have to agree with dude's background or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to agree with it. I'm happy because it's community. The dude does do work. And hell yeah, he was able to get access and it's granted. I think it's a great thing because I think it's going to help not only it's going to help victims, it's going to help justice, it's going to help all that stuff. So hell yeah, shout out. Stipulation for protective order. And I'll go ahead and share all these documents, the links for you guys. And they are in the doc drop. Let's see. Stipulation for protective order. Oh, I'm sure. Well, I mean, the dude flies. I'm like fucking John Madden, yo. I drive. I can't fly. I'm like John Madden. I don't do the flying shit. Drive? Yeah. Flying? No. That dude flies everywhere. He boom, 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 boom. Plus he's got a bankroll like a motherfucker. So if I had, like, let's be real, if I had a bankroll like a motherfucker and I wasn't afraid to fly, I'd be boom, 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 boom. Would I even have a studio? Hell no. My studio would be on the road. Shit. Just be real. But hey, I'm able to do what I do for you guys, and I love every minute of it, so who gives a shit? Come now, the state of Idaho. Well, let me again say this. Stipulation for protective order. Come now, the state of Idaho, by and through the Latah County prosecuting attorney and the above-named defendant, by and through his undersigned attorney of record, and hereby stipulate to the entry of a protective order regarding third-party medical records contained in the following discovery folders: AV000808 to AV000809. This stipulation limits access to direct review by defense counsel, investigators, and retained experts, and any further dissemination or use of the referenced medical records would be prohibited absent of specific court order or further stipulation of the parties. The parties recognize that further dissemination or use may require redaction prior to their dissemination or use. In all other aspects, the provisions of the aforementioned prior orders shall remain in full force An effect? What? What does that mean? Full force. So they're not going to be able to review third-party medical records. The stipulation limits access to direct review by defense counsel, investigators, and retained experts, and any further dissemination or use of the referenced medical records would be prohibited absent of specific court order or further stipulation of the parties. That's fucking nuts, right? Whose medical records? The medical records. The medical records of the co-defendant? Is that who? What's up, Yoli?
Hi there.
What's up?
Yeah, I just hopped on to explain this.
Yeah.
So they're talking about a protective order for third-party medical records, and they will only the defense and prosecution and the judge are only going to be able to see these medical records. So they will get to see them, but they will be redacted if they're filed in court for any reason, or if they're, or, you know, so.
Yeah, whose records are they? That's
well,
what
that's the thing. Yeah. So there's
That's
a third party. So
Yeah.
that makes me think, because I always thought that maybe BK's alibi would be that he has some kind of, you know, psychological disorder, and he has insomnia and he drives around at night. I always thought that that might be what the ex-party hearing was about. That never happened. But I always thought that maybe she would introduce records of BK about, to support his alibi that he, you know, had insomnia. But this is third party records, which means
I don't think it's his. Yeah.
No, it's not his. No. So it's somebody else. It's either a witness or a police officer.
I'm thinking it's the witness. It's maybe the co-defendant. It's the witness. It's everybody. It's the person that everybody's trying to keep quiet. You know, Bethany's gonna talk.
But you know, here's the thing.
Defense wants records. We don't have them.
They would have had to have subpoenaed these records, and I don't see that there was a. I mean, based on all the subpoenas that they did.
Okay, check this out. This is something I came across a few days ago. Somebody had sent me something on Twitter. We checked it out on Twitter. Okay. And I was like, holy shit. Hold on 1 second. Let me go to my Twitter here. It's right. Because we read this article. Okay, read this. Read this, Yoli. Can you read it? No?
Oh, well, where? Let me see.
Let me go full screen. Hold on.
Because I'm on my phone.
It says, check this out. It says, did you know that Moscow has medical amnesty that protects anyone who ODs or reports an OD from being prosecuted if they call emergency personnel. Is that why somebody was called in as an unconscious person? Not because they were called in as an unconscious person, but because they were called in for a possible OD or something.
Well, you know, they have to, I think that this medical amnesty is something that
Where they don't get in
protects,
trouble.
well, it protects people who
Yeah.
who call in an
So they
overdose.
come forward. Yeah. So they,
But
it's meant
clearly,
to get people to come forward when there's an OD instead of leaving people lay on the side. Yeah.
but clearly this was not an overdose. So that amnesty
No, but
or
no, but
immunity,
what I'm saying, but Yola, you're missing it. What I'm saying is who's medical records? Medical records? Who is it talking about? Somebody that possibly was reported for such and such? What was there a lot of talk about way in the beginning? This right here. Possible amnesty. Medical records. We don't know who it is.
well, it protects overdoses. People, like if I overdosed and
Doesn't mean they passed away.
no, and then it also protects people who report overdose. So
Right. So
it
that's why
protects
it
them
would
from
be
being prosecuted.
r-
So
yes, and they wouldn't.
so
And
go ahead.
and this is what I'm saying. Why would they want to be? Why would they want to be protecting somebody so much? Her shit wasn't in the PCA. She was going to get interviewed, and all of a sudden, oh, shoot, secret grand jury. Was okay, what I'm saying is was she the person that called? And they can't say because then they're going to go, well, how in the hell is she not getting in trouble? And they don't want to tell people why there's an 8-hour gap.
Is because she may have OD'd?
No, she may have been the one that called.
But if she called 911, it certainly wasn't for an overdose.
Was it? Or was it not?
Well, I mean,
Was it?
could they have? Well, here's the thing.
When has unconscious person ever made sense, Yoli? When?
It hasn't, no.
Would it make sense with this?
Well, yeah. And she may have said that she thought that was what happening, OD. And therefore she's protected. Yes. She may say that nobody was picking up, she couldn't get a hold of anybody, the doors were locked, whatever. But she may say that there was an OD, an unconscious person, and that might be why she's protected. That's very true.
And maybe the person. Okay, I read the article I read the article on Ann Taylor's 2017 acquittal. Okay? Putney County. The prosecution. It's a little bit of a read. I'm not going to play it. I'll just give you a short story. The prosecution was so for sure that they had their person. So for sure. And then it ended up being an acquittal. They were only focused, even though they had information giving them other legitimate clues on other people, they remained focused on this one person. And you're gonna shit bricks again, Yoli, when I tell you what happened at the end.
What happened?
You know what? I'm gonna play.
You want me to watch it? I can watch it.
I'm just gonna play just a minute, maybe 30 seconds of that video because I have to let the exact words be read to
Okay.
you. Okay? I don't want to misrepresent
I hope
the
it's not too
pieces
much
of shit.
trouble.
I don't want to misrepresent the pieces of shit. It is not too much trouble. If anybody hasn't watched this video, here's the link.
I will go back and watch it.
It's 27 minutes, okay? But I'm gonna play the very ending of it because that's the freaking crazy part, and it's scary to think about this because if this happens with Idaho4, no, I'm serious. If this happens with Idaho4, fuck that shit. It better not, and you'll see what I mean when you hear what I say.
Okay.
Wow, it does. I can't believe I'm seeing what I'm seeing here.
Let's see.
How am I seeing this? I don't understand. I'm confused at what I'm reading here. You're going to tell me that somebody... You're going to tell me that somebody doesn't get convicted? The state does not intend to pursue another suspect? The state was charged as the person responsible for my family. It doesn't have the Ezra. Unfortunately, I believe we will never know what happened to Ezra. Taylor said. Oxendine echoed the sentiment that no one will ever know, but not in the same manner that Taylor did. Oxendine believes that a unaliver got away and that she will never know why the jury decided there wasn't enough evidence to convict Heather Lynn Crawford of the crime. The state does not intend to pursue another suspect because we are confident that the person that was charged is the person responsible for the crime. Oxendine says there is no evidence to suggest otherwise. The fact that a jury reaches a verdict of not guilty in a case simply means that the jury did not feel the evidence presented showed proof beyond a reasonable doubt. Juries can reach a not guilty verdict for a variety of reasons because the jury deliberations are strictly confidential. We may never know the reason behind why they reached the outcome. A not guilty verdict. What the fuck?
Yeah, that's
because the person that we were so focused on, and this is Ann Taylor's 2017 acquittal. And they're saying, the prosecutors are saying, because the person that we were so focused on wasn't found guilty, we don't feel it's necessary to go find some other leads.
Huh. Well, that's just, well, it's confirmation bias. I mean, they don't want that, like they're basically saying, we know we got the right guy, and they're not I mean, if he's found not guilty, they can't be saying he's the right guy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they can say that, but I would sue them. If I was found not guilty of a crime and the prosecution was saying that I was the person, they continue to say that, I would sue them.
Yeah, that's defamation.
Yeah.
But what's crazy is okay. I guess they felt like they had enough evidence to prove that it was them. I don't know. Maybe it was an OJ thing or something. I don't know.
Well, I mean, you have to be well-versed with handling a jury as well as knowing the law because, a lot of times, there are some cases.
If there was a civil case.
I don't know. That's an interesting That's an interesting, a civil rights case. Yeah, I'm wondering if there was a civil case because if, you know, well, Ann Taylor is, I'm sure, I mean, she knows what she's doing. So, you know, but the fact that they continue to say that he's still that he is the person, even though the jury reached a not guilty verdict, I would, if I were the
I'd be
prosecution.
mad if I was a family.
Yeah, I would. If I were the prosecution and lost, I would just say, well, you know, we thought we had enough evidence against this person to convict him beyond a reasonable doubt, but the jury found that we didn't, and so we just have to live with that. I wouldn't be saying, oh, well,
I'd want
we
to see all
believe
the
this is the guy.
evidence. I'd want to see all the evidence. That way, if it was like fumbleed or whatever, at least I could look at the evidence myself and I guess convict them in my own mind, you know?
Well, there's jury instructions that you have to follow, that you look at the evidence and then you apply the instructions to the evidence. So, you know, it could be a jury instruction thing where the jury's instructed on so many issues, and if that evidence, if the jury misunderstands the jury instruction, if that jury you know, sees it in a different perspective than the prosecution, that the jury instruction applies but not in the way the prosecution said, you know, there's a lot of things that go on. So they could have just found, or maybe they liked the guy or the person who was on, a lady, or was it a woman? Yeah, maybe they liked her. You know, you never know what happens in these cases, but it's a very high standard for criminal cases. So it goes along with the jury instructions, and it goes along with the skill of the attorney in handling juries, and you know, it's a high burden. So, but for the prosecution to say, like, this is the guy, we just, you know, and to continue to say that, I mean, I'm sorry, that's not right. Like I said, the response, the response should be, we brought this case, we believe we had sufficient evidence beyond a reasonable doubt. Obviously the jury disagreed, and we just have to go from here. You know, you don't say anything about the defendant because he's been found not guilty, so you just suck it up.
Right. I mean, yeah, you take it on the chin. You probably should have done more. I mean, how do you, I guess you're just counting your eggs before you have them.
I mean,
you know,
it happens.
You're that confident. Yeah, you're that confident that you're going to, you know, convict this person, and then all of a sudden they get an acquittal. It's like, damn. Because they weren't pursuing the other leads that they were supposed to be pursuing, and it didn't make sense.
Just yeah, it's tunnel vision.
Everything. Yeah, they were just so focused, and they made everything fit around, and that was their undoing. And this is what I'm worried about with Idaho4, and this is why I brought it up, because I tell you, man, if he gets off, and he really did,
oh, that would be horrible.
Or if he gets off because they did what took place in this article, which was they were so focused on one person making it match one person, and then because they didn't get the conviction, because it's, you know, they're just as cocky as this other prosecution team is in this article. Their prosecution team is just as cocky. So what happens? Like, what happens if he does, you know, get an acquittal? And then there, you think that'll be, you know what I mean? Like, oh my gosh, is this, well, we thought that, you know, this person did it, so we're just not going to pursue.
Because, and in other words, because they believe that person did it. They don't have to say that, you know, they can just say, they're not going to pursue other leads at this time. You know, I mean, you know, they could just say that, as opposed to saying that we believe we got the guy, and so because we believe we got the guy, we're not going to pursue leads. Like, that's stupid. that just shows that what they were doing was they just can't let it go that he was not guilty. Their ego can't handle it. They're saying he was guilty. We can't help it that the jury found him not guilty, but we know he was guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. So therefore, we're not going to pursue other leads. That's bullshit.
Mhm.
They have to say,
Yeah.
something, that, I mean, the guy's found not guilty already. So the prosecution has to say something like, well, we obviously didn't have enough evidence. The jury found, and you got to give credence to the jury, because once you start talking shit on the jury, you're screwed. You got to, there are people who say, oh, the jury was stupid and this and that. Well, guess what? The next time that lawyer goes in front of a jury, if any of those jurors heard him say that the jury was stupid, they're not going to, So you just have to give the jury credit, and you have to say, well, we presented evidence that we thought was beyond a reasonable doubt. The jury, didn't find that. And so, we just have to live with the decision, and that's it,
Life on life's terms, you win some, you lose some, but you always got to work your ass off. And sometimes, when you got to be able to explore all theories, thoughts, and opinions.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you get tunnel vision and that kind of shit happens. Do it for the justice of the victims, not because, just quick shit to end it. Because there's a lot of times where, that's the reason why we talk about most of these cases, because that bullshit goes on because they're driving a vehicle with a windshield only. And it's like, there's plenty of other shit going on each side you need to pay attention to, too.
Yeah, so Scarlett is asking, so say he's acquitted, so that means they can't charge him again, correct? So they can't charge him for the unalivings of the 4 under state law, but if there's some criminal law, if there's some federal law that he violated, like one of the things, like there was a case where a male who battered a woman and actually killed her was found not guilty in state law, but he was found guilty of abuse under a federal law. So they can charge people federally if they get, dismissed civilly in a state court. They can't file another state action for the same thing, but
I guarantee you, if he gets off, the families are going after him
for wrongful death.
Civilly, and they'd probably win, honestly, because the frickin' 20 skin cells on the sheath is going to be enough to get a fucking win in court in civil.
Well,
what else do you need?
Yeah,
This kind of court, it's a little different.
Well, I was thinking about what I said about the judge and the PCA. Like, if I were a judge and I was looking, because judges, like if I were to become a judge, I would handle criminal cases. So I would have to look at the PCA. And I was thinking that the vehicle stuff, the vehicle driving around, that might not be enough. But when it comes to the DNA stuff, the judges aren't going to question that. Like, they're going to let the defense handle any challenges to that. But if they have some kind of DNA and they're saying they have some kind of DNA and they did this and that, the judge really doesn't have the expertise to question that. So that's likely why they did arrest him. But the way that he was arrested, in my opinion, with the SWAT team and everything, I'm curious as to why it had to be that way.
Well, yeah, that's always been the crazy part, is like, why the fireworks?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think the judge said you need to go in there, do all this with the SWAT team and arrest him.
No, it was part of the shock and awe, think about it. If they bring somebody in for questioning, and then they end up charging, okay, you get the cam, you get different things. it's not as you're like, maybe he did, maybe he didn't. If somebody gets apprehended like that, automatically your mind goes to, holy shit, they're guilty
Exactly.
as fuck.
And that's what they
it was.
wanted to do.
Right.
That's
Yeah, because
exactly what they
shocking-
wanted to do. Or they wanted to set up a case like
Yeah, the show.
or they wanted to set up a case like the other BK person that, you know, the other person who was unalived.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I seen something come up about that. But
Yeah, that maybe they were trying to get that to happen. And
they had already interviewed him, Scarlett. They had already interviewed him before that.
Did they?
Yeah.
BK?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Somebody sent this to me. Let me see here. What's up, everybody? Somebody sent this to me. Who was this? This was a link on Twitter. Where are you at? There it is. Severing the Merc. Thank you for the link, the tag. Appreciate that. Idaho prosecutors disclosed evidence to Brian Koberger's legal team Monday that they say involves an internal affairs investigation into an officer who was part of the University of Idaho crime. This was back in, what does this say? For those who don't know or forgot, this was the Brady Giglio, an officer involved in BK's case is being investigated. Sealed from public.
Yeah.
And then the filing. Whatever that is. Then the filing.
They filed it under seal.
Well, yeah, that's been news for a long ass time.
Yeah.
Serving the Merc. Come on, yo. All right. So the last, this is the protective order. Talking about the medical records.
Yeah.
Protective order is hereby entered, limiting access to those records to direct review by the Defense Counsel investigators and retained experts, and any further dissemination or use of the referenced medical records would be prohibited absent a specific court order or further stipulation of the parties. So that's what it is. Like, who
So they
is...
do get to see the medical records. They just can't, disclose it to anybody. But it also said, they could disclose it to experts. So I'm just curious whose medical records they are.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, brainwashing. Yeah, I'm part of the brainwashing. All right, give me 1 second here. We'll get into the show.
I'll have to hop off like at 6:30.
Okay.
Because I have a phone conference.
Okay. No problem.
But I can hop back on after that.
Yeah, I'm not sure how late I'm going. I'm just running on fumes, but I'm going to try and go as late as I can just because I haven't been on in the last day and some. So this is, I guess, Brian Koberger's aunt breaks her silence.
Yeah.
Have you heard of this?
I did. I heard part of it, but I don't. Something about she's talking about the family, basically, that and Koberger. Yeah. But I didn't hear much about it, just bits and pieces.
Talking about the family.
Yeah, that there was a family issue. And somehow they would fly over to Nevada, to Las Vegas. And
Why is everybody from Nevada?
Yeah. Yeah. And so anyway, yeah, you can show what she said or read what she said.
Yeah, this is a long crime video. I don't know what she said. I was literally just doing a bunch of work to the show, kind of trying to get rest to just being sick like a dog. So I haven't watched any of this actually. I'm not even sure.
Were just released that gives us insight into quadruple murder suspect Brian Kohberger. Kohberger's alleged aunt is breaking her silence on the horrifying case out of Idaho and revealing more details about what may have led up to the tragic killings. The aunt, who remained anonymous, spoke to the U.S. Sun and said she struggles to watch the news as detectives revealed facts from the early morning hours of November 13, 2022. Prosecutors say Kohberger fatally stabbed 4 University of Idaho students, Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Gonzalez, inside their off-campus apartment in Moscow, Idaho. The medical examiner said based on their wounds, they were attacked in their sleep. Kohberger wasn't arrested for weeks, but investigators eventually tracked him down over the holidays to his parents' home in Pennsylvania, thousands of miles away from the crime scene. The case and the major arrest made national headlines, and Kohberger was extradited back to Idaho. Few details about the case have been released due to a gag order in effect that prevents attorneys, law enforcement, and others associated with the case from talking about it. Now, Kohberger's alleged aunt is speaking out, saying she was at a loss of words when she heard about what her nephew was accused of, and said she isn't ruling out that he is responsible for the tragic murders. As Anne explained to The Sun, there had been a lot of drama in the family around the time of the murders, which couldn't be elaborated on for legal reasons.
What?
She says even before Kohberger's arrest, she had not spoken to his parents, but said their worlds were turned upside down. When Kohberger was younger, his aunt says he and his family would fly out to Vegas, where she had been living. She said when he was younger, the eventual murder suspect was shy and humble, but also described him as a troubled teenager. She claims he suffered from depressive episodes, and while she was told he was on medication, she wasn't sure what he was prescribed by doctors. The alleged aunt also revealed she suspected Kohberger was taking drugs as a teen after falling into the wrong crowd. She claimed it was no big secret he was allegedly into the drug scene, but says she was concerned he was taking the drugs to deal with mental health issues. Kohberger's alleged aunt also disclosed to The Sun she had hoped he would clean up his act, as he began to have an interest in criminology, a similar pathway for other family members who also studied forensics. And he did. Kohberger eventually became a PhD candidate at Washington State University, a less than half an hour drive from the crime scene in Moscow, Idaho. Kohberger's aunt says she hadn't seen her nephew in more than 5 years before his arrest. Kohberger's parents and 2 sisters have reportedly shown support for the murder suspect and believe he is innocent. However, his sisters were fired from their jobs earlier this year over their relationship with the alleged killer. Kohberger's alleged aunt thinks her nephew will be found guilty when the case eventually goes to trial, although he has maintained his innocence and is reportedly confident he will be exonerated. Kohberger's trial was initially set to begin in October, but it got pushed back when Kohberger waived his right to a speedy trial. No new date for his trial has been set yet. However, he is expected to be back in court on October 26th.
Aunt had a lot to say, huh?
Yeah. There's also an article where that discusses it, but I'm not sure if it's any different than what the video said.
Like, what's her angle, you know? She was talking a lot of shit there. I mean, but the family was going, it sounds like mainstream media damn near. Hold on, I want to play that again.
This
Brand
may
new
be
details were just released.
Huh?
This may
sounds
be the aunt that is divorced from one of the brothers of Kohberger's father.
That gives us insight into quadruple murder suspect.
It seems to me like she had a lot to say and a lot of shitty things to say. Like,
well, I don't know. I don't know.
like,
Yeah.
what's your angle? You know, like,
But
like
here
the family was
article-
going through
Yeah.
hard times, you know, and I told him to clean his act up and all that. It's like, what? Where are you coming from, lady?
But she also said that she never witnessed him display any acts of violence, and that he was humble, and that he got into drugs as a teenager, which, you know, that happens. But I think it's the ex of, and I'm not sure, but I think it's the ex of one of Brian Kohberger's uncles on the paternal side. but I'm not sure.
It just sounds like, how do we know that she doesn't, like, how do we know that she doesn't eat moldy cinnamon roll bagels? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do we know that she, you know what I mean? Like, like, you're gonna say that because somebody had an addiction to substance and
That
their
has nothing to
family
do with
was
it.
going through hard times, like, okay, what if you eat moldy cinnamon roll bagels? Like, that's not healthy either.
Oh no, is that what got you sick,
So who the
CJ?
fuck are you? No. I think what got me sick is just fucking working and just, oh my gosh, just working like crazy. Plus I was out at a lot of stores the last few days kind of getting ready for the upcoming trip. So
You may have picked something up.
I probably did. I probably picked up somebody's coffee cup,
No,
or I mean the coffee cup at the store, and I was like, no, I don't want it. And somebody else might have picked it up and not wanted it either. And then, hey, the touch DNA, I'm sick now, so.
Oh.
Their shit's probably on my microphone stand too, because I do grab that as well. Yeah, I mean, I think that's how I got sick. Everybody, hell, I had not been sick for so long. And, usually I don't get sick, but I think it was just from me working so much. So I was doing 2 shows plus literally in between each, working on different things. I mean, you can see all these updates I've done in the last week or two for the show. So, just working my ass off. Yeah, everybody's sick too. Change of season, summer to fall, just a whole bunch.
Yeah, it's just weird that this aunt is coming out. It's like coming out of the woodwork just to insert herself. I don't know.
What if she has like chronic athlete's foot or something? Like, who knows? Like, you shouldn't be talking shit.
No, I know.
Like, that's
no.
that's his family.
Yeah.
Just because his family was, I don't know.
Yeah, and just because he had a drug addiction, that doesn't mean that doesn't mean anything. It just means
right?
that
Sure.
he's like, a lot of
he's normal.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
like shit.
There are people who are addicted to drugs that doctors prescribe. I mean, it's.
You know what I'm saying?
And then she says,
prescribed.
Yeah, she said, you think that she thought that maybe he was using drugs to cope with his mental illness. And it's like, yeah, well, that's what people do. I mean, they drink to, self-soothe or, try to, I mean, there's nothing. Yeah, that's
legal too.
There, that's why I said that arrest warrant, when they were looking for, or search warrant, that they were looking for syringes and things like that. How is that even reasonably calculated to lead to the discovery that he committed a murder?
Whoa, unaliving.
Unaliving. I'm so sorry.
You're good.
God.
No, you're
unaliving.
Oh, you're funny. No, it's true though, but at the same time, it could be part of a motive. We don't know. That's why they have to take, you never know. Like,
yeah,
it could be part of it.
But says, motive is not required for the unaliving.
No. But it certainly helps you either get closer to your suspect or figure out more of what actually went down. Because who says that? There's a bunch of people that have came in chat and said, "Oh, he was addicted to substances, and his supplier didn't have it, and dude snapped."
I thought I thought that might be something, but like we talked about before, if they don't have their substance, that they might be sick. But does that mean they're going to snap? Not necessarily. They may not have the energy to snap.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it doesn't matter. Like,
Doesn't matter.
no. Because it should be obvious that crime was not committed over substances.
No.
The crime was committed over rage.
Yes. Yeah. And you made a good point about that.
It doesn't. Oh, where'd she go? It just doesn't make any sense. It's too emotional.
Yeah, and it might be that there was two different set of circumstances that happened all at once. Meaning the second floor and the third floor, they may have been two different circumstances. Who knows?
Oh shit! Right. Yeah, man. Jeremiah, I gotta bounce your comment on that because that can be triggering to people.
Oh, I didn't see. Oh well.
But
I'm so sorry for saying the M word. God.
No, you're fine.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. It just can't be like over and over and over.
No.
and over.
I'm not gonna say that.
But yeah, I'm gonna listen to this again. I don't know. She just seems like she's cranky. Maybe she's just mad because she got divorced from dude, and she just talked shit. I mean, it's 15 minutes. Well, 2.5 minutes of fame, I suppose. I don't know. It could equal 15.
Brian Koberger. Koberger's alleged aunt is breaking her silence on the horrifying case out of Idaho and revealing more details about what may have led up to the tragic killings. The aunt, who remained anonymous, spoke to the U.S. Sun and said she struggles to watch the news as detectives reveal facts from the early morning hours of November 13, 2022. Prosecutors say Koberger fatally stabbed 4 University of Idaho students, Xana Kernodle, Ethan Chapin, Madison Mogan, and Kaylee Gonzalez, inside their off-campus apartment in Moscow, Idaho. The medical examiner said based on their wounds, they were attacked in their sleep. Koberger wasn't arrested for weeks, but investigators eventually tracked him down over the holidays to his parents' home in Pennsylvania, thousands of miles away from the crime scene. The case and the major arrest made national headlines, and Koberger was extradited back to Idaho. Few details about the case have been released due to a gag order in effect that prevents attorneys, law enforcement, and...
Okay, buddy. It's called YouTube, bro. Surprised you haven't been on it.
others associated with the case
Bye-bye.
from talking about it. Now Koberger's alleged aunt is speaking out.
Put my stake in the ground. Okay, buddy. There's plenty of other shows out there. We respect victims in this one. Sorry.
Saying she was at a loss of words when she heard about what her nephew was accused of, and said she isn't ruling out that he is responsible for the tragic murders. His aunt explained to The Sun there had been a lot of drama in the family around the time of the murders, which couldn't be elaborated on for legal reasons. She says even before Koberger's arrest, she had not spoken to his parents, but said their worlds were turned upside down. When Koberger was younger, his aunt says he and his family would fly out to Vegas, where she had been living. She said when he was younger, the eventual murder suspect was shy and humble, but also described him as a troubled teenager. She claims he suffered from depressive episodes, and while she was told he was on medication, she wasn't sure what he was prescribed by doctors. The alleged aunt also revealed she suspected Koberger was taking drugs as a teen after falling into the wrong crowd. She claimed it was no big secret he was allegedly into the drug scene, but says she was concerned he was taking the drugs to deal with mental health issues. Koberger's alleged aunt also disclosed to The Sun she had hoped he would clean up his act as he began to have an interest in criminology, a similar pathway for other family members who also studied forensics. And he did. Koberger eventually became a PhD candidate at Washington State University, a less than half an hour drive from the crime scene in Moscow, Idaho. Koberger's aunt says she hadn't seen her nephew in more than 5 years before.
Look, I was hanging out in some other chats today and I saw all the typing, okay? So some of y'all just need to chill the fuck out. That's it. I seen it. Y'all just need to chill out.
For his arrest, Koberger's parents and 2 sisters have reportedly shown support for the murder suspect and believe he is innocent. However, his sisters were fired from their jobs earlier this year over their relationship with the alleged killer. Koberger's alleged aunt thinks her nephew will be found guilty when the case eventually...
Probably a lot, Debre. That's why I'm trying to get to Spotify in the future. Trust me. I don't like having to say certain words either, but it is what it is. And if you're in the true crime community, you already know that. It's not a surprise. There's just a lot of fake people trying to create dumb BS to make it look like something else, but they're just too slow to figure out. I already know what their game is. That's all. I'm way ahead of you.
Eventually goes to trial, although he has maintained his innocence and is reportedly confident he will be exonerated. Kohlberger's trial was initially set to begin in October.
Yeah, she's not down with it. She's like, I don't want to hear it. So she was married to one of the uncles, huh?
Yeah, I believe so.
Let me see if there's anything breaking real quick. And if not, we're going to get into the next part. All right, I'm not seeing anything. Did they find that woman from California that was traveling cross country?
No, I don't think they did.
No?
Chelsea something?
Yeah, Chelsea, Chelsea Grimm?
Something like that. No, I don't believe they found her.
Because I heard that she, well, they said something about how, she was seen like 2 days after when she last reported, or when she was reported or last had contact with her family. She was seen like 2 days after that. And that's what's confusing to me. I just seen something come across my breaking news. And that's what came across odd to me is how, like, then what happened to the phone? And they said that she was disoriented too.
Well, I heard that there was footage of her talking to a police officer.
Yeah, body cam or something.
Yeah, something about that, but I don't know too much about it. I don't. I just know I don't think she was found.
Okay. Well, we're going to check out this harsh video here. Let me see.
There was a little girl in my county that went missing near where I grew up in Santa Ana that was found alive. 12-year-old girl, which I'm happy to hear.
Oh, wow. Yes, prayers. How long was she missing for?
A day.
Oh, wow.
And they're not saying anything about finding her. They're just keeping quiet. But it was in Santa Ana, right where I grew up.
Family member or something?
We don't know. I don't know.
Why would they keep quiet about it? I guess it doesn't matter because they already caught him. Maybe they're trying to... I don't know. That is weird, though. They usually release the name in the picture?
Well, they did
Why
release... Not? They released... Well, the little girl's picture was released.
No, the dude that did it.
Yeah, I know.
They already apprehended him, you know?
I don't know. That was very quiet, but I'm glad they found her. She was a pretty little girl.
Yeah, prayers. Too many kids go missing. It's unfortunate.
It's terrible.
This is harsh talking about Bethany Funk, the only hope. I think it is the only hope. I mean, when she's got exculpatory evidence to BK. Yeah, I would say so.
Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're all well. You amazing, amazing people. Thank you so much for joining me for video 2 of 2 today. Yes, that's right. You're amazing. You look amazing. You are amazing. And I am happy that you are here. Some people do your head in, don't they, on this platform? I do try and ignore them. Sometimes I bite back, and I shouldn't. I should just live and let live. And I think that's going to be my new mantra. I think I'll just start ignoring people from now on because they do craze me. But anyway, like I say, you're amazing, and we've got some stuff to talk about because tomorrow we'll be diverting away from the Idaho 4 case
for a period, unless something comes up, unless there's a new court doc or something like that. But there are other cases we need to speak about. There's other things happening around the Delphi case, the Alex Murdoch case, and yes, we need to start talking about some other things. So we're going to leave today sort of where the first video of the day set up. That was sort of teed us off to where we are now. Because look, this is where I feel we are. This is just my ideas. This is just where I think, what I think. And at the end of the day, it's got no bearing in law. And people will no doubt have differences of opinion, and that's absolutely fine. This is what I genuinely think. I think this entire case, one pivotal piece of it is Bethany Funk. I think she is the ace in the hole. Now, it's whether she's the ace in the hole for the prosecution or the defense. That's the question. Now, we've been led to believe by the defense that Bethany Funk holds exculpatory evidence to the case, to Bryan Kohberger. So that means that they believe she has details of what happened that if she tells people, if it gets out, it could help Bryan Kohberger. And you think to yourself, what could that be? What possibly could Bethany Funk know that could be helpful to Bryan Kohberger? And I was thinking about it. You know what I mean? If she saw exactly the same as Dylan Mortensen, that wouldn't be helpful, would it? Because part of the PCA and what was used as evidence against Bryan Kohberger was the statement given by Dylan Mortensen. Now, there was no mention of Bethany Funk in the PCA in terms of what she saw or any interview, information that was given. She didn't claim to have seen the same thing, but we're supposed to believe that they were communicating with one another. So again, exculpatory evidence, what could that look like? Now, we spoke earlier on in the video about Brent Kopacker and the potential that there was always more than one person. I think this has been my thought from the beginning, that there was more than one person. Now, could it be that Bethany Funk truly did see something else, saw someone else at a different time, at the same time, but she saw something that differed from what Bethany Funk, Dylan Mortensen stated?
Yeah, that's what we've totally agreed on it. Yeah, that's crazy, Mark and Betty. I've never heard of that before. Yeah, let me know. That's very interesting. Surprising, really, actually. But yeah, we've always said, that's why her statement, think about it. If you have two statements that match what you're trying to say, well, then you put it in the PCA because it's another anchor to make sure that thing can't get ripped away. So why wouldn't they? So then it makes you wonder, okay, well, her statement wasn't in the PCA. Defense was ready to go down to talk to her. And then all of a sudden, secret grand jury real quick. Of course she has a different statement. Why else wouldn't it be in the PCA, right? You're good, Yolan.
Within the PCA, their stories somehow have fractured, and there are two completely different stories. Two different things. Now imagine this goes to court and she is called as a witness. What happens? What then happens? Does she give a story that she didn't know anything, didn't hear anything, didn't see anything? But then if the text messages between the two are proof that they were both up and they were both discussing something within 1122 King Road, they were having a discussion, then she's not going to be able to say that. Now, if this other person who was working on behalf of the defense team have managed to get hold of some information, whether that was from the horse's mouth or whether that was by a third party, who knows, but they've obviously got hold of something. And if that does at some point point to the fact that there was someone else in that house at a different time, then what effect does that have on the entire case? Could that be enough to bring this case to its knees?
And I just put a vote poll in chat. Do you think BF is BK's ticket to acquittal?
If Bethany
What's up,
Funk
everybody? What's up, Cherry Cherry?
genuinely
Thanks for hopping in.
has information that would allude to the fact that there was someone else in that house that night, and in fact, the person dressed in black, clad in black, bushy eyebrows, was not seen by Bethany Funk at all. Not seen, nothing. But in fact, she had a very unique experience. Perhaps she heard thumping about. Perhaps she heard what sounded like fighting, arguing. Perhaps she saw someone leave because after hearing...
She saw somebody that didn't. This is what I've been saying. I feel like she saw somebody that didn't match the description of BK. And that's why it wasn't put in there. That's why it stated she has exculpatory evidence. And that's why there's a secret grand jury to hurry the fuck up and not allow her to talk when the defense was getting ready to fly down there and take her out to eat. Damn straight.
Hearing that, she was looking out of the window and happened to see someone leave the property. And this was a completely different time frame. Because Ann Taylor has alluded to the fact that Brian Kohberger may have been driving around that night, because that's just something that he did. But he wasn't in the area at the time of the crime. Now, Ann Taylor could be talking about two different things here. She could be talking that Brian Kohberger wasn't in the area between 4 a.m. and 4:20 a.m., the time of the crime. Or Ann Taylor could in fact have information that would lead her to believe that the crime happened at a different time. And whereas Brian Kohberger could have well been in the vicinity of 1122 King Road between the hours of 4 and 4:20, she may have information that would lead her to believe that the crime happened perhaps at 3 a.m. and the crime had already taken place. And that may be the angle that they are looking to push. But let me know down below. Again, this is just me spitballing, because I do feel that Bethany Funk is the only person that can get Brian Kohberger out of this hole. Because if we believe that people can plant evidence, they can get a patsy, then we must conclude that they can put this man through the system, have him found guilty, and have him executed for this crime. What we know is that we have a car that is apparently seen on camera, and it just happens to be a car very similar than Brian Kohberger's. We have a knife sheath that we're led to believe has his DNA on it, that they went through this convoluted system to get it, but ultimately they got it. And this information is being told to the jury. So you've got this guy, car, knife sheath, phone turned off. Even though it's all circumstantial evidence, people have been convicted on circumstantial evidence. All that this court proceedings is going to be is a sales pitch. It's going to be prosecution, defense, selling their stories, and it's whatever one captures the hearts and minds of that jury. And you have to trust that not the most dominant person in that jury, the person who's going to become speaker for the jury, is not in some way anti-Brian Kohberger, or takes this case personally and just wants to see someone burn for it. It just happens to be Brian Kohberger. But someone hasn't been leveraged to get this put away. What do we see in the Alex Murdaugh situation? Someone who's writing a book and they want this all sort of done, dusted, out the way, done. And now we see a situation where it looks like Alex Murdaugh is going back to court because of jury tampering. It happens. It happens in big, high-profile cases, little profile cases, no profile cases. Happens. Corruption, coercion exists.
Right. There's been other cases that I've highlighted that doesn't even get really that much airtime. The West Memphis 3. Check out those episodes. Crazy shit. A lot of this stuff applies. I think, I can't remember who mentioned it to me, but we did a show or two on that one, and that was a crazy case. Again, right here, I did Ann Taylor's 2007 acquittal. I read through those documents, that article. That was crazy. It just, you look at some of the paperwork when even the prosecution is referencing old cases where they were able to hide the way that they got the DNA. How they could claim that they can't offer certain things because they don't have it available. It was almost like a carbon copy of what they're doing right now. So we're going to stick to this. This is one more harsh, and he's talking about, you mentioned it a little bit ago, Yoli. You were talking about the other BK, and this is talking about the other BK. So we'll go ahead and get into this one real quick, too, and then we'll switch it up. Thank you, everybody.
Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you are all well. You are looking absolutely goddamn amazing. How do you pull it off? Please tell me your secrets. And I hope other people are telling you look amazing as well, because they should be. But anyway, we've got some meat and potatoes to sink our teeth into, as this video is going to piss a few people off. And look, I don't do videos purposefully to piss people off. Sometimes when you're talking about this case and you're looking at different things will come up. And they can do one of two things. Sometimes they can completely change your perspective of the crime itself, or who's involved, who's not involved, how someone behaved, how they didn't do something or did do something. And in this situation, what's happened over the last few hours is we was taken right back to the start and specifically discussing the injuries sustained during the Idaho4 attacks. Primarily the injuries that were sustained by Kaylee Gonsalves. Now look, this is where this has led me, and this is where this has kind of brought me while thinking about this situation. And I don't know whether it's something that you guys have thought about as well, because I know that there's certain people around the peripheral of this case that are kind of untouchable. And what I mean by you feel like you can't discuss them, you feel like you can't talk about them, because when you've talked about them in the past, or they've been spoken about in the past, there is huge backlash to it, huge backlash to it, and that's just the way it is. It was very, very similar in the Summer Wells case versus the Michael Vaughan case. Everybody could pretty much say whatever they wanted in the Summer Wells case. They could say anything. They could talk about the parents and pull the parents apart, rip them to absolute pieces. But in the Michael Vaughan case, you couldn't. Now, the people around the Michael Vaughan case, they were threatening people. They were doing their own media campaign to threaten and stamp out anything that was said negatively. There was threats being made. People lost their jobs over the Michael Vaughan case. And at the very foundations of them, they were very, very similar cases. They were cases where a child went missing because of, at the very least, a overly relaxed methodology. I was trying to say, fuck that right up, didn't I? Of parenting. They took their eye off the ball and the child suffered. So at their fundamental core, these cases were pretty much identical. It was just a case of what parents looked the part and what parents didn't. And in this case, in the Idaho4 case, we see the same. We see people who are labeled as victims when they're survivors. And, you know, there's arguments as to, did they survive? Were they lucky? Were they just in the wrong place at the wrong time? Or some people say, well, they're in the right place at the right time because they survived and they didn't get attacked. Were they ever in any danger whatsoever? And we will never know. But people have varying opinions. The 8-hour time delay, we know, is a bone of contention for many, myself included. But Some people are simply off limits, and as soon as you start talking about them, it brings a huge backlash. And one of them people has been Brent Kopacker. Brent Kopacker. This is an ex-military guy. And look, what I'm going to say before I go on and people lose their shit is that I'm not saying that Brent Kopacker did this crime. I'm not saying that at all. But there are elements to the Idaho4 case, which I'm going to go into in a second, that almost proves that the Idaho4 case, the Idaho4 murders themselves, were done by someone with a military skill or had been taught by someone with a military skill. And the information that kind of alludes to this fact were given none other than the coroner at the very start, and further spoken about by the Gonsalves family when they spoke about the injuries and the differing of the injuries, that they were not the same. And that's the important thing. The important thing is the statement made, they were not the same. Now, two things could be here, and everybody has thought about the fact that there could have been two weapons. There could have been two people. But I don't think anybody has ever spoken about the fact that this could be one person, but using the weapon differently. And what do I mean by that? So first of all, what we've got to talk about is yesterday we spoke quite briefly on Kaylee Gonsalves and her injuries, the fact that she had been seemingly attacked. And I'm hoping that many of you have gone over, you found it eventually. The link to the video in the video yesterday was in the description, right at the top of the description box. If you look on your phone, it's there. It's a little YouTube symbol with some words next to it. But that takes you to this. They talk about the specific injuries that would render Kaylee Gonsalves, they didn't know it was her. Let's just put it that way. And that's what we felt could have been a delay in the Gonsalves family being told, because they needed to identify her. And that led me to this. It led me into a hunt to learn about the weapon in question, the weapon that we have been led to believe is the weapon that was used in this crime. And look, I learned a lot. Now, I could sit here and I could tell you about when it was manufactured, who it was manufactured from, why it was manufactured, the fact that it was manufactured to replace a knife that kept on failing, and so on and so forth, the way it was designed. And that's all interesting for people who are interested in that. But what I found the most interesting was this. Now, if someone says to you, what's a knife used for? You will automatically think, right, that's used for, it's a stabbing implement. The K-bar knife, apparently, from a military perspective, was never meant for that. It was a secondary thing. It was trained, and when they went through the training of how to use this, it was primarily a slash weapon, a slashing weapon. And I'm trying not to go too in depth and but you get my picture. You get what I'm trying to say. And when you match that specific detail of how the military were trained in close combat to utilize this specific weapon, that goes hand in hand with what you hear about the Idaho4 case. And you cannot help, when you hear and you read these things, to feel that there's roads in this case that keep leading back to military. Now, the Brent Kopacker situation is still ongoing. It's not closed. And I think to myself, if this was simply a guy who was in the military, he sadly suffered a brain injury that would lead him to suffer from PTSD for around 16 years. This would obviously be something that he would have his ups and his downs. And at the point with which he lost his life, he was obviously having some form of episode that would lead him to threaten the lives of roommates who have never come forward publicly. There's never been, from what I can find, there's never been a conversation with these people. Have never been identified as people who have come forward and told their story. And this entire situation is very, very cloak and dagger. I read long ago, or heard long ago, that at the point with which Brent Kopacker lost his life, the roommates weren't even in the room. He was barricaded in the room himself. So they had actually got away, whether he'd let them out or whatever. But I digress. Point being, if this was just as simple as this situation, then why is this situation still ongoing? Why is this situation not been wrapped up? It is what it is. The guy was ex-military, brain injury. He had an episode. He threatened roommates. He put them at risk. He put the public at risk, and SWAT responded within the realms of the law and what they were legally able to do, and executed someone who posed a threat to the public. Done deal, case closed. That's it, done. Why are we a year down the road and this situation has not been put to bed? Now, we can all speculate. We can all speculate and say Brent Kopacker and Brian Koberger knew each other. They seemingly came from similar places, and they took the similar journey across the country to Washington. And even in Washington, they lived a relatively close life. Now, you could argue that if Brian Koberger had these proclivities and he was going to become this murderer, would he have not sought out or befriended someone he felt he could utilize, he could learn from, he could obtain skills and information and knowledge? And maybe that's just the connection. Maybe Brian Koberger was always the guy, and he learned what he needed to learn within a relationship with Brent Kopacker. We know that Brian Koberger knew of Brent Kopacker, or at least he knew of the situation because he himself mentioned it during the traffic stop that we were all privy to. So he was watching, he knew. Now, some people quite rightly pointed out that if Brent Kopacker was the person who had done this crime with Brian Koberger, then why would Brian Koberger have asked at the point of his arrest if anyone else was arrested? But again, we don't know if that's 100% accurate. And maybe there was more than two people. Maybe there was three. There are elements of this case that would lead you to believe that's a possibility, and that came from the mouths of James Fry himself when he alluded to the fact that the white Hyundai Elantra that they were looking for had occupants within it. Occupants meaning more than one person. Now, did Brent...
And even in the press conferences, you would hear them say occupants. It was always plural, always plural, always plural. What's up, Kylie Lola? How you doing tonight? Always plural. And we checked into this stuff back then. It is kind of crazy how it all went away. Because we kind of got into that last December and January. Late December, early January, somewhere around there. We were checking into it. You can go back to those episodes. Hell, it's probably episode 100, 125, somewhere around there. Way back then. Then you can see like how crappy the show used to be too. Oh, you're good. It's just him finishing up some talk. Then we're going to get into a Daily Mail video.
Kopacker just do a ride along with Brian Koberger? Was one the prodigy of the other? Was the methodical thought processes that Brian Koberger...
Yeah, that's what I'll show you guys a video from a long time ago.
Koberger obviously has. Were they able to manipulate someone who was indeed suffering? And he had the skills of a military killer, a military trained killer to do these crimes. And again, I'm not saying that Brent Kopacker done anything, but there's so many elements of this that lead you to believe that the person who did this This was either not their first rodeo, or they had been trained to do what happened at 1122 King Road that night. They showed skill, they showed proficiency, and they shown that they were able to handle the weapon with which was used in the multiple manners with which it was trained professionally to be used. Now, if you believe that Brian Koberger was the person who did this, and you believe that the injuries that were sustained by at least Kaylee Gonsalves, how were they done without him injuring himself? Now, I've been, I'm a 6'2" tattooed lump, and I've, been in situations in the past where we've had scuffles. We've been, my family have a boxing, company within it, and I've done boxing. You punch someone, your hand's going to swell up. You punch someone repeatedly, your hand's going to balloon. Especially when you're not walking into this house wearing boxing gloves. You might just be wearing nitrile gloves, whatever they're called. Nitrile, is that the right word?
Nitrile, maybe?
Let me know down below. Or did they use the butt of the weapon as another way that this could be used and would have been trained in close combat? Again, I'm just spitballing. Because however I look at it, and when these things come out and you talk and you hear about the potential multiple occupants in the car, you hear about the fact that the injuries were not the same, and it goes to the point where you almost feel that there's multiple people because there must be multiple weapons. But then you learn that this weapon was taught to be used in these very specific manners. And it was almost like this person knew, and they knew everything. Now,
that's what I was saying. Do I necessarily believe this is back from May 29th? And this is it's like a 17-minute video. And this kind of explains where I'm coming from when I'm thinking why. So this is back in May. Now, we did go into it in late December, early January, if you haven't yet already. But this is, I got my old Space Age funky beat music. Appreciate it. Now, this is what I want to show you guys. Old CJ, just for a few. All right, so this is the amber light around the arches. See? I'm going into something else. Here, I'll take you on the path here. I'll just go ahead and show Linda Lane first. So at 2:44 a.m., keep this in mind. At 2:44 a.m., the vehicle, and you can watch
is
the
on
whole
surveillance
thing, at Linda Lane, right here. So there's Linda Lane. The vehicle is on surveillance at 2:44 a.m. at Linda Lane. This is where, just right down the block from where the crime took place, at 2:44 a.m. Now, also at 2:44 a.m., Koberger's phone was pinged at 2:42 a.m., leaving the Steptoe residence. But instead, if he was going to commit the crime by himself, right? Wouldn't he have went through the rural area on the way to Moscow? No. He went ahead and drove through the city, through all these buildings where there could be surveillance all over the place. And I'm going to show you how much surveillance they had at these streets. Driven down all the way down here, and at 2:42 a.m., the same time that the vehicle was on surveillance on Linda Lane, also at 2:44 a.m. was caught on surveillance right here. Now you have a camera there. You have a camera there. You have a camera there. See all these cameras on these city streets? So if you're going to do this on your own, why are you not driving the rural route to get there, which would barely have any surveillance or cameras? 51 terabytes, everybody. Okay. So, kind of interesting, right?
Right.
Vehicle was at this location 2 times that morning. Coffee House Apartments. Kopaka lived there. Look at the route. That's why you're leaving left out of your residence instead of turning right. What did they do at this apartment? Because the crime didn't take place until a few minutes after 4. But yet the vehicle was in that location at 2:45, 2:46 in the morning. And the gas station down there got spotted at.
So how can he be in both places at the same time?
That's why I think, and I'm going to play Cassie's theory about not 1, maybe 2 or 3. Cassie
And the
brought
other
this up.
car was
Somebody else.
used as a decoy
No.
in
It could
Moscow.
have been. It could have been, but here's the thing. There's a lot of people that drive that same car. So isn't it interesting that they have 2 vehicles as a suspect vehicle at the same time in different locations? And also, and you can finish watching the rest with that link. Here you go. And also, is that why there was different years of a vehicle that was sought after as well? Is that why it went from a Sentra to a 2011 to 13, then to 13 to 15, a whole bunch of whatever, what? No, this is according to the PCA. This is according to the PCA. All based off the PCA, detective. Because I used to have all this mapping stuff completed. That's one thing I got to do. Here's the PCA. It's all off the PCA. One thing that I need to do is I need to recreate this whole map that I used to have from back then, because I had every freaking location. It was all mapped out. Sucks. I got to redo that. But yeah. There's the link to the video if you want to check it out. All right. So, is there anything you want to mention or anything, Yoli, since you're back?
No, I'm
going to go into a Daily Mail article video. Okay, so this part of the description is the target, right? So I haven't been on much the last day or so. I feel like I am getting worse. I don't know. It's this medicine and this coffee, and I'm drinking a lot of it. I already had to refill my Cape Cup. So yeah, I don't do the Red Bull. I can't do it, because my heart feels like it just comes out of my chest, and then I just get all crazy nervous and shit. But no, I'm on fumes, and I'm still going.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
But I'm not saying that we explored it back then. We have shows that we talked about it. Do I think? No. No. Did I used to? Quite a bit. I'll be honest with you. I used to think quite a bit. But as time goes on and as I start to get into it more, it's like, no, I just really, I don't know. I mean, listen, when there's a gag order and the stuff is fishy as hell already from the PCA, of course, there's going to be a lot of things that are possible, really. There's going to be a lot of things that are possible. But in my own personal opinion, I just don't feel that much anymore. But that's just me. Who knows? We may wake up tomorrow and all of a sudden some information gets leaked like Delphi, and maybe there was a connection. Who knows? That's the crazy part about this case, is that there's so many different possibilities, and unless it's in the PCA, which, can you even say the PCA is 100? I can't. I can see holes like crazy. So, I don't know. When it comes to this target, though, so there's been different talks. We've had some talks over the last few shows about who I thought was potentially the target. A lot of people think of who the target, they think it was from the beginning, and I've never thought that from the beginning. You can go to all my old shows. I don't know, for some reason I just don't see it being upstairs. I see it being on the second floor. I always have. That's just me. But there was who we all thought or assumed was probably the target. Even a couple weeks ago, when the Consalvis family came out and talked about what was on the autopsy report, we all kind of thought still that maybe it was, but now there's a lot of talk about it being Maddie. So I don't know. Why does anybody want to type in chat why people are thinking that Maddie is? Now, I've been either getting rest or working on the show and stuff, so I don't know what's came out about Maddie. But when Steve G says, dude, that person didn't even have to go upstairs, to me that's saying they didn't have to go upstairs to the third floor, because I didn't know the place had a fourth. I'm just, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah. With Maddie, I just remember in the beginning they said that BK, his alleged account, whatever Instagram, whatever account it was, that he liked her photographs.
Well, and Katrina, I don't know. Katrina brings up a great point, because this is what my mind automatically first took me to when I heard about this stuff. I was like, so what the hell did she tell Adam? Because that was a video that we kept playing, and we'll get into it here in a few after this Daily Mail video, because it talks about the whole target talk. So what did she tell Adam? That's
and who's Adam?
That's the first thing. Their friend.
Yeah, it could be their friend, but it might be another Adam.
It's a friend. And they had just left Adam.
Yeah, the bartender.
So.
Makes sense.
Yeah. So what was Adam told? And that is where I can see somebody would get rage. I could see like Katrina typed, I could see how that could be a possibility just because of what was said on video as they were leaving. Scarlett, yes, it's true. It came from a surveillance camera. I'm going to play it for you guys, but we're going to watch this daily article video first. Of course it's true.
New evidence in the Idaho murder case suggests that Maddie Mogen, not Kaylee Goncalves, was Bryan Kohberger's alleged target. Several long-held questions about the quadruple homicide were answered this weekend when some of the victims' families sat down with 48 hours. Who was killed first? Was there a connection to the killer? What happened the morning the bodies were found? It has always been my assumption that the perpetrator went to 1122 King Road on November 13th with the goal of killing one person, most likely Kaylee or Maddie. Based on all the evidence currently out there, I always lean more towards Kaylee, but now I am not so sure. Kaylee's own family is revealing never before heard details about the crime scene and the alleged killer that points directly to Maddie Mogen as the target. Kaylee's parents and her sister Olivia have been outspoken advocates for their daughter and the three victims since day one. So outspoken at times that members of the public have criticized them for getting in the way of the investigation. But from the moment a deputy showed up on their doorstep at 4 p.m. on November 13th to tell them that Kaylee was murdered, the Goncalves family mobilized to help find her killer. And one of the things they did early on was speak to the coroner, who gave them details that up until this point I had never heard, details about the crime scene. Now, I'm sure you're wondering how this was all able to happen with the current gag order in place. The gag order covers the attorneys and the investigators, but it doesn't prohibit families from speaking out. The coroner is covered by this gag order, but the Goncalves family spoke to Coroner Kathy Mabbitt prior to it being put in place by the judge. Now, from the onset of the investigation, police were firm in their opinion that the crime was targeted, but they never said who the target was.
The bed was up against the wall. The headboard was touching the wall, and the left side of the bed was...
Oh yeah, Caddy, trust me, they're connected to the group that I was talking about when it comes to the Twitch grub truck that we're going to get into on Saturday. By the way, I'm planning on doing it from noon to 8 on Saturday. From beginning to end. I have my notes. I'm going to point out everything as it takes place, and I'm also going to... you guys can point stuff out too, so we'll be highlighting different things as we watch the whole thing. It's going to be fun. One more, the finale of it. One more. The whole thing from beginning to end. Rewinding, chatting. It's a 4.5 hour episode. We'll be going through the whole thing, but I'm anticipating about 8 hours. Just with rewinds and chat. So it's going to be 8 hours for sure. Might be a little less, but I don't know. I think it's going to go about 8. We'll be getting into that. You'll see what I mean. You'll see what I mean. And if Caddy, I got some. I'll share a link to a video, everybody, that I did. We'll go into it. You'll see what I mean.
Touching the wall. And we believe that Maddie was on the outside and Kaylee was on the inside.
According to Coroner Mabbitt, the killer's first victim was Maddie, says Steve.
And then from Maddie, he moved on to your daughter.
This is huge. Up to this point, investigators have never confirmed the order of the killings. If what the Goncalves claim the coroner told them is true, and it was Maddie, we might have our biggest clue yet about the intended target, which may lead us to motive. We have known for a while that the murders started on the 3rd floor with Kaylee and Maddie. Surviving roommate Dylan said she woke up around 4 a.m. to what sounded like Kaylee playing with her dog on the 3rd floor, followed by one of the girls upstairs saying someone's here. At this point, we know Xana was still alive on the 2nd floor, having gotten a DoorDash around that time, plus she was active on TikTok at 4:13 a.m. when Kaylee and Maddie were likely being stabbed to death a floor above. By all accounts, it seems that the killer silently slipped into the house from that back sliding glass door and made a beeline for the bedrooms on the 3rd floor, indicating that he expected his primary target to be there that night. Kaylee and Maddie were up there, sleeping in the same bed. Even though Kaylee lived in the house, she had actually moved out already because she was graduating. She was just there visiting for the weekend. So let's imagine this, the way Kaylee's mom describes it. One side of Maddie's bed was up against the wall, with Maddie sleeping on the outside, putting Kaylee between her and the wall. Now, in this configuration, Maddie would have been the first person that the killer had access to upon entering the room, and he would have needed to lean or climb over her in order to get to Kaylee. Now, the Gonsalveses said that they uncovered evidence that Kaylee had tried to get out of the situation but was trapped. They didn't expand on what that means, but it could mean defensive wounds or just kind of how her body was positioned on the mattress. The knife sheath was also dropped to the right of Maddie's body with the killer's DNA on the snap. That always felt to me like this is where the murders began, that the killer snuck in, unsnapped the sheath, and pulled the knife out for the first time, dropping the sheath in the process, effectively marking his start point. Now, the sheath was discovered by investigators on the mattress, partially underneath of Maddie's body. So I really do think he dropped it right when he unsheathed the knife for the first time. Does Maddie Mogen being the first victim killed mean that she was the intended target? Not necessarily.
Yoli, thank you for hopping up. I appreciate you. And go ahead and hop back up when you're done doing your conference thing. You're more than
Okay.
welcome.
I'm getting some discovery responses from clients that I have to turn over to the defense. So they work during the day, so I have to do it.
Thank you for hopping in. Yeah, if I'm
I'll come
still
back.
on, I'm gonna keep
Okay.
going as long as I got fumes in my tank, and when I'm out
Okay.
of fumes, I'm out.
All right.
But,
I'll be back.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bye.
Appreciate you.
Could simply be that the way they were sleeping, she was just the first one the killer got to. But Kaylee's parents revealed more circumstantial evidence pointing directly towards Maddie. When Brian Kohberger was arrested on December 30th, it was the first time anyone had heard his name, including the families of the victims. Investigators had never tipped their hand that they even had a suspect. But as soon as the Gonsalves family heard the suspect's name, they tried to find him on social media, and they came across this account.
From our investigation of the account, it appeared to be the real Brian Kohberger account.
The one they claim was the real deal is this one that is one of many that have been floating around Reddit for months. It had one post, 1,943 followers, and was following 99 accounts. Some of them, according to the Gonsalveses, were Kohberger's known relatives.
Maddie's Instagram account and look at her pictures, and he liked them.
This statement made alarm bells go off in my head the second I heard it. Notice she didn't say that the account interacted with Kaylee's photos or Xana's photos, just Maddie's. Sources had previously told People magazine that Kohberger followed all three of the female victims on social media, but had repeatedly messaged only one of them. And now I'm wondering if that person was the same one who had photos that he liked. A source also told the outlet that Kohberger's phone contained multiple images of one of the victims. And again, I am wondering if the evidence will show that those photos were of Maddie. Olivia Gonsalves also had access to her sister Kaylee's phone and call logs, which she turned over to the police. So I have to imagine if she went.
I don't know. I've heard so many people say that they couldn't. I've heard so many people give their opinion on could and couldn't. I personally think the crimes were done separate. I think one room was done first, and then a little later the other room was done. I don't think somebody... I don't know. Some just don't seem right. The timeline... I just feel like it was a lot longer than 25 minutes. At least an hour. Hour and 25 minutes. Honestly. That's just how I feel. Yeah. I don't know. It just, you know, I don't know. Please hit the like if you haven't yet. I appreciate it. I don't know. I just feel like I don't know. I just feel like it was longer. Not saying nobody couldn't do it, but I just feel like it was longer. Or if it was that quick, it was definitely more than one. Because I don't know how you could keep that quiet. I don't know how you could keep it quiet. And to corral 4 people, like Harsh was saying, corral 4 people, and somehow you're not able to leave anything of yourself, no injuries, not able to leave anything of yourself evidence-wise. Mm-mm. It just don't make sense. It just don't make sense.
Went through her sister's phone and found a bunch of unanswered
That's all I'm
messages from
saying.
some
It just
guy.
don't make sense.
She would have mentioned it to the police and probably again in this interview. Now, according to authorities, Kohberger showed up repeatedly outside of the victim's home prior to the murders, starting as far back as August 21st when his phone pinged a tower covering the area near 1122 King Road. Logically, if Kohberger was allegedly stalking the house, which is down that random back road, he would have had to have come in contact with the girls before that in order to figure out where they lived. There has been an unsubstantiated rumor flying around for months that the suspect would frequent the Mad Greek restaurant where 2 of the victims worked, Xana and Maddie. Now, the restaurant has denied this, but I've actually eaten there and I'm positive that the owners wouldn't remember me, so I think it's plausible maybe they just didn't remember him. This is likely the place where he first came across these 2 victims. He's a vegan, they serve vegan food, and there's a limited amount of that in the area. Now, Kohberger was enrolled in nearby Washington State University, not the University of Idaho where the victims went. But one of the victims did have a connection to WSU, and this time it's not Maddie. Xana Kernodle's older sister, Jasmine, was a senior at WSU. Now, like Xana, Jasmine majored in marketing, so it seems unlikely that her undergrad classes would have overlapped with Kohberger's graduate ones, but it's just worth mentioning that they went to the same school. Jasmine and her father also spoke to 48 Hours and divulged new information about the hours after the murders. 911 wasn't called until noon the next day, but along with the police, Jasmine was contacted by Xana's friends. There were multiple people already at the house when 911 was finally called. In addition to the surviving roommates, Bethany and Dylan, police said that several other people were there and that neither of the survivors made the 911 call, though it was made from one of their phones. It's never been explained whether they were there because other roommates had.
What outrage are you talking about, detective? Either the person that the other person that was going to help the crime, or somebody had injuries bad enough where that was their sick, psychotic way of asking them if they wanted help to pass, honestly. It's a good point, Deb. Does it feel like you're flying in the Batwing? I probably should go back to my other one. Like you're in the Batwing. All right. Let's see. Yeah. Doesn't make sense, does it? What outrage? What's up, Sleuth? Yeah, we got that. We got our breaking news. We got our different stuff. Love my little animations I worked on. All right. Just to kind of give you more of a unique style, you know, visual. You know what I mean? The background, just different things just to make it, I don't know, just different. Well, in that highlight, I dropped the link to. That's kind of what I got into when it came to why I thought maybe, you know, I did explore it back then. And here's the link again, Deborah, if you want to check it out. I did explore it back then, but not so much anymore. You know, it is very coincidental. You know, that's what this weekend's going to be on Saturday, coincidences or clues, right? Because that's what this case is. Coincidences or clues. And I'll have the notifications set tonight before the show is over, so you guys can shoot that. It'll be Saturday from noon to 8, 1 to 9, somewhere around there. But I'll be putting that out towards the end of the evening, or if not after the show. And then you guys can get notified for that. We're gonna have a panel. We're gonna be going through it from beginning to end, so it's gonna be neat. All right, let me finish this up real quick.
Guests in their rooms the night before, which is one possibility. The other, which is a theory that has been floated in Reddit threads, is that Ethan's two siblings were called before the police. Now, he was a triplet, and both his brother and sister were students at the University of Idaho. Now, along with the Chapins, it would make sense to me for some of Ethan's Sigma Chi brothers to have been called because they were just close by. You can actually see the Sigma Chi frat house from 1122 King Road. Why all of these people were at the house before cops were called is a huge mystery, and it doesn't make a lot of sense. And by the time Xana's sister Jasmine got there from Pullman, police had already arrived and closed the crime scene. Now, as we have discussed many times before, the scene was one of the bloodiest ones that police had ever witnessed. With so many people in the house before cops got there, it's pretty shocking that there wasn't blood tracked all over the house or even out here on this cement patio. I don't know what to make of that other than just assuming that the group was either smart enough or unfortunately traumatized enough not to walk into the blood-soaked rooms before cops got there. But as to why the killer didn't leave a blood trail, the Gonsalveses think he had what's called a kill kit.
I think he had a backpack.
Change of clothes. We don't know if it was coveralls, pants, hoodie. We don't know.
This means he would have had minutes, maybe seconds to change out of the clothes he wore into clean ones.
Which could have been possible. And shout out to Yoli. It could have been possible in seconds. 10-inch by 7-inch pouch. Everything that you would need to stay clean. Right there. Nothing in car. No, that's what exactly, Crystal. Exactly. 100%. Nothing in the car. No, I don't think so. Right?
Between the time Dylan heard crying
It don't
in
make
Xana's
sense.
room and then seeing the killer walking out of the house. The murder weapon and those bloody clothes have never been found. Search Daily Mail videos on Facebook for more clips like this. For more true crime content like this, hit like and subscribe.
All right. Give me 1 second. Let's go to, where is... All right. So this is, where is it here? Watching the Watchers. There's a couple videos I wanted to show you from their channel. So here's Watching the Watchers. Couple quick videos that they have. And tomorrow I'm going to be, even though I'm not, even though that I'm not going to be making the trip, I just don't even have the energy. Even though I'm not going to be making the trip tomorrow, I'm still going to be doing a show on Delphi. I'm going to be doing the show on, I'm going to start it off with Natalie. It's going to be a breaking news updates episode, daytime true crime, where I'm covering a bunch, but we're mainly going to be covering Delphi. So I'm going to have a Delphi thumbnail up, or I might just do a separate one just for Delphi. I don't know, but we'll be kind of going into that tomorrow. And I do want to cover Holloway and some of these other cases that we had breaking news out in the beginning of this episode tonight. That's a great idea, Deborah. That's a great idea. It's a great idea. We'll have to do the, thank you. I appreciate that, Lulu. I feel like I'm worse than I was last night. But I was like, I don't have energy either. I'm just going off coffee fumes, but I was like, I can't not be on, you know. So it is my work, and I'd be going to work feeling like shit too, and this is work, and I'm coming to work feeling like shit. It is, hey. No, that's a great idea, Deborah. For real. Sorry. I just could not be on tonight. I miss you guys. And I'll probably be playing some games at the lounge tonight after the show's over if you want to hang out. I do. Trust me, that's why I wasn't on this morning, because I slept in, but I didn't really sleep in. I just didn't get no sleep. And then once it's like 10 in the morning, 9 in the morning, and your body's like, all right, dude, you ain't going back to sleep. You just keep laying there. So then it's like, all right, well, I'm awake. I might as well start doing some work. So I just worked at my desk all day and got a lot of stuff done at the desk. But I do need to lay down early. I gotta play my... Yeah. All right, so this is Incognito again. Watching the Watchers context. Shout out to them. The Washington Plate Cowboys. The Washington Plate Cowboys. Where are they leaving? Where are they leaving? That's not... No. That's not him. No. Do you guys think... No. That other dude definitely had more weight to him. Hold on a minute. We got to get to that Adam video too. Hold on. I'm going to find that video. Give me 1 second. Because I'll show you. That dude had a lot more weight to him.
Five plainclothes investigators. We don't know if they're...
Okay, here it is right here. And I'll go full screen for y'all too, so you can see. All right, I'm going to put it on mute. We're going to slow it down. Check it out, y'all. And then when you see him come out, right there, y'all. Look. Son of a bitch. Why won't it back up? Oh. I should have just left it where I had it, damn it. He's too heavy. He's too heavy. There we go. Right there. He's too heavy. Okay. I just wanted to show that because when I was like, no, that guy's too heavy. So I wanted to show that. I mean, yeah, the dude's got red hair and he's got a beard. But other than that, and a hoodie up too. Other than that, I don't know. I don't see it, but I wanted to show that. All right, so this is going to be a video from Idaho4 Revealed. 2 videos I want to watch with you guys. This one is about connections where Dylan and Bethany able to call property management for help. I want to hear what they have to say on this one. Part 1, it's okay. I'm going to help you. Hold on 1 second. I always love their videos here. I got to move my screen here. Hold on. We'll just flip over here real quick. I love Idaho4 Revealed videos. Let me like it here. They always make you question stuff. You know what I'm saying? Good questions. Notice how they keep their faces down. Yeah. Good questions on these videos. Shout out Idaho4 Revealed. You make some great content. Appreciate the hard work. So here is part 1. It's okay. I'm going to help you. You guys mentioned it. Washington Plate Cowboys. We'll play that Adam video before we get done with the show. Thank you all for coming in to hang out. I appreciate you. Hopefully you like all the updates. Ask yourself, why didn't Bethany or Dylan call the property manager or management? What is the name of the person or persons who regularly collected monies from the tenants at 1122 King Queen, assigned by 1122 King LLC? If a black truck left the King Road area, remember the black truck, as seen on MPD body cam footage at 3 a.m. on the morning that the unalivings were committed, what time did the black truck enter the King Road neighborhood? Which is a good question. I mean, I'm sure he was cold, but no, I don't see it. I don't see it. That's just me. But that's a good question. What time did the black truck enter the King Road neighborhood? Because it was exiting. I do too, Lulu. I think they found stuff out that they weren't supposed to about the property itself. You know what I'm saying? On December 8th, 2022, MPD's Chief James Fry press release to public. Oh, damn the music. Holy shit.
First, start by explaining why this search for this white vehicle.
So we have information of a white vehicle that was in the area either during the time frame of the homicide or around the time frame of the homicide, and we are just wanting to talk to the individuals who.
Yo, what's the most common color of a freaking vehicle? Think about it. It's not a blue. It's not a red. It's not a yellow. It's not a green. It's not an orange. It's not a purple. White and black. I would love to be able to go to the fucking carnival and play this dude's dart game. Because I could literally just buy fucking darts and just throw them and hit fucking balloons. And damn, my date would think I'm the coolest fucking dude in the world. She'd be like, damn, I get the humongous teddy bear? Holy shit. And I just went, boom, 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 boom. I mean, it'd be over and over and over and over. Damn, I'd have funnel cakes for life. Funnel cakes for life.
Who are in that vehicle. They may have some valuable information for us, and we're looking for a 2011 to a 2013 Hyundai Elantra. So any assistance you can give us, anybody that owns one, anybody that knows of someone who owns one or may have been driving one, if you could get a hold of us through our tip line or call us directly, we'd appreciate that.
Good morning. My name is Roger Lanier. I'm a captain with the Moscow Police Department. I'm in charge of the Operations Division. And today is December 12th, Monday. And I want to give you an update on the King Road homicide investigations, at least the information that we have to this point. Over the weekend, investigators still continued to sort through numerous tips, calls, and online tips in regard to this investigation. There's been a lot of questions about the white car that we've been interested in. We're looking for that car because we believe through our investigation that that car was in the area during the time of the murders. And we also believe that the occupant or occupants may have seen something. They may not know they have seen something. So we specifically want to talk to them, and we want to know who they are and what they might know or might be able to contribute to the investigation.
He lied, it's dirty. There is no reason for the police to tell the public we believe when it is not what they believe. What? I do too, Nicola. I speak to everybody. Yes, funnel cake. I even highlight your comments. Good cops don't schedule press conferences specifically to lie to the public. Of course they do. It's the narrative. It's the narrative. Will it like get rid of the words on top? No? Well, here, let me just... I'll play it slow. There we go. I know, I'm hungry too. I haven't ate anything today because my stomach has just been in knots and I can't even eat anything. Right? Oh yeah. I did a highlight video on that too. Brandywine, the whole tattoo thing. Yeah, that's crazy, isn't it? What's up, D. Marie? Suspect vehicle 1. This is all the PCA, page 6. I feel like my medicine's wearing off, but I can't take any more for like 2.5 more hours. The Washington Plate Cowboys. Mm-hmm. Yeah, go ahead, Yoli. It's the same link. I'm not sure how much longer I'll be going, though, just because I'm starting to feel that, like, my medicine's wearing off. Is it possible that the light-colored sedan carrying the occupant or occupants, possibly with valuable information, could be from the same area as described in Payne's affidavit of probable cause? What's up?
Hi, I'm back. Are you okay?
A date night? Oh, my meds feel like they're starting to wear off. Cold meds and coffee date night idea.
What?
I need to eat, though. My stomach, though, it just has been hurting all damn day. I just haven't had an appetite.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, but I missed you guys. I need to be on, you know?
Okay.
It's work. I work sick. I always do.
Yeah, I have to too, so.
Mm-hmm. It's just who I am. Unless I have, like, freaking hit by a bus kind of shit. Excuse me.
Okay, so what's going on now?
So let me see. What does it say? So is it possible that the light-colored sedan carrying the occupant or occupants possibly with valuable information could be from the same area as described in Payne's affidavit of probable cause? So they're showing the map right here. So this is the area where a lot of that driving was taking place. So did they leave? Because they were driving by this botanical garden and all sorts of stuff, and what they're saying is could that person be from that area? Sleepy Town?
I don't know.
What's up, Grizz? Grizz snuck in here? Nah, I'm feeling worse, bro.
Oh no.
Hey, Grizz, if you're not busy tomorrow, I'll be having I'm gonna be getting on for Delphi, probably at like 11 or noon Central. So if you're not busy and you want to hop up, you're more than welcome, man. And I'm going to be trying to do the grub truck from Saturday noon to 8 p.m. So I shot you out a message if you'd like to join. I'd love to have you on, Grizz. For Saturday. We're going to be, even if it's late or you got to hop out late or whatever it is, I'd like to have you on there for a little bit. I'm calling it a power panel because I'm trying to get the people that I've had on the show before that I think their minds are, I want multiple people, and I can have up to 12 people now with this $50 shit. But I want to have, even if you don't know the case, I want to have your mind. I want to have your mind in the panel. We're watching that shit from beginning to end. Even if you've never seen it before. Yo, what the fuck was this? What was what? What the fuck was this? Oh shit. That's what I'm looking for. Even, or if you know what's on, hey, yeah, like, but the finale, the final episode, power panel, people that I've had on panel that I think their minds are just in tune with the fine details. So I'm definitely, if you're down, Saturday, 12 noon, 1 o'clock Eastern Central to 9 o'clock at night, about 8 hours. The video's 4.5. We'll go through it beginning to end, rewind, chit chat, point stuff out, notice things, one episode all in one. You don't have to go to 5 different parts. You just go to one freaking episode, period. And then I'll just put in the timestamp. I'll timestamp each hour of the grub truck or whatever. But yeah. I'll be putting out a notification for that after the show. And also, definitely hop on for a Delphi episode if you're not busy. All right, here we go. Let me get back to this video. So this is the area that they're saying that possibly maybe they're from. Now, why would they be talking like they're possibly from that area just because they left? I mean, supposedly, dude went down this way and came down here and took off south. And then took that big loop down south and then back up to go home.
The white sedan. Oh my God. That white, I'm sorry to interrupt, but that white sedan, the whole white Elantra thing, if BK admits that he was driving around, that just kind of like, why would the prosecution have to even go into that? He admits he was driving around. His car could have been seen anywhere. The gist of the situation is whether or not he did it, whether or not there's enough evidence that he did the unalivings. So he's already said, yes, I was driving around. He's going to say, yeah, well, maybe my car was caught on certain cameras, but maybe not. Maybe other white cars were caught. But what's the big deal? I already said I was driving around. So what's the big deal? So, the prosecution can't make too much of a big deal about the car if he's already said he's been driving around. It kind of cuts to it nips it in the bud and kind of cuts to the chase about, show me where I did these crimes. Yeah, I was driving around.
I want to know how you got, I want your homework, especially if my life is on the line, yo.
Absolutely.
If my life is on the line, damn straight, I want to know how you got to me. I want to know all that shit. And I deserve the right to know.
Absolutely.
How can I, not that it's my job to defend myself because it's your job to prove that I did it, But how can I defend myself if I don't even know what you're trying to tell me I did to do it?
Yeah.
You know, oh, you want to claim that? Okay, well, I claim that I was driving around. That's all I'm giving you because you won't give me what I've been asking for this whole time. So I'm not
Yeah.
going to tell you the rest. I'm willing to tell the judge the rest of the information, but I'm not going to let the prosecution know because they're not letting me know, right?
Yeah.
So that's
right.
what I thought how it went down. And it's one of those things where it's like, yeah, that's why I still can't say that he's not the DD.
Right.
Because
And
maybe that's why he was driving around all night. Not because he was trying to settle some anxiety. Maybe he really was the fucking DoorDash.
oh my God, I saw the video that you did where you're in the place of the driver and you're acting like you're
Yeah.
lost. I mean, that
Yeah.
is just great. I mean, that is more likely. I mean, you know,
That's
you
what I'm
look at
saying.
whether or not somebody was there pumping themselves up to do this thing. Well, how do you know? But you do know there was a DoorDash driver, and you do know that the streets are confusing, and you kind of got into the character of a person driving around like,
Mhm.
you know, it makes sense. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah.
Because Vinny was like, Vinny's like, calling it like scoping out and shit. And I'm like,
No,
what?
we don't know.
Like,
That's
come
the
on,
thing.
Vinny.
The phone pings, they assumed that he was stalking. Well, guess what? Maybe he was going to the grocery store, or maybe he was going to get his medication, you know, maybe legal medication or illegal medication, whatever. But, you know, you can't jump from phone pings to stalking. I mean, because that's a mens rea. That's like the mind, like the intent. You know, you can't assume the intent because there's phone pings. That's ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. And I'm gonna play it for if you haven't seen it. I mean, yeah, that's what I did. I was like, I still have people. I had people coming in like, there's no way it has to be, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna be sarcastic as fuck, and I'm gonna show people how. And if you're telling me that my recreation of a DoorDash driver getting lost isn't fucking plausible, well then go to cooking shows for real. Because seriously, does this not remind you of a DoorDash or some kind of delivery, somebody getting lost? I mean, it was perfect how they did the driving. I just pretended like I was driving, like you're watching my dash cam. I'm not even gonna play what they're talking. Just watch their driving, okay? Damn, I swear I'm on Queen Road, but it says 1122 King. Is there another way to get to King Road? How do you... Hold on a minute. Let me look at my GPS again real quick. Okay, well, it's telling me I'm at the location, but I'm not at the location. Is that it? I don't know, but it's telling me I'm at the location, but I'm not. Shoot, hold on. Let me see if I can go. It must come around. King Road must come around because it's on King Road, 1122. Okay, hold on. Let me see. No, shoot. I can't go anywhere. No, it dead ends. Hold on a minute. No, hold on a minute. Let me go back. Hold on. Let me go back. It's got to be this way. It has to be. Like it's my dash cam, you know? All right. I don't know. I'm on Queen Road now. I'm on Queen Road, but it says 1122 King Road. Yeah, like what the hell? Huh? Is that it? But it's Queen Road. I'm looking at the numbers on the house and it says 1122, but I'm on Queen Road. I'm lost. I had to do the sarcastic.
It was really good because, you know, it shows the mind, like what somebody driving would be thinking.
Right.
But
Right.
you know, is now you do one where I'm getting pumped up. Like now, how does it fit? Somebody in the car saying, "Get these people. I got to get these. I got to do it. I got to work up my courage." I'm driving around back and forth. That doesn't make sense. Who's going to be driving back and forth? I gotta make sure the lights turn off so that I can go do it. That doesn't make sense.
No. It's in a different part of this, you know, I was like, you know, they were talking about it and I was like, this is like a fucking route Joe Dirt would take. This path is like Joe Dirt going to commit this crime. Not somebody that studied SKs, that had questionnaires about what they felt, what mistakes they made. This is like a route that Joe Dirt would have took to go do this crime. Like, you're gonna fucking drive a
dumbass,
turn around
you know?
right there, then come back around, do another turn, and then come back around.
Yeah, and who does that? I mean,
I'm
who
sorry.
who does that? I mean, does somebody, you know, with rage?
This dude is smart. Yeah.
Does somebody
Right.
with
Or
rage?
somebody that scoped it out. That don't make any sense
it
either. Like,
doesn't.
you scoped it out, but
If
you
he's
did all this.
So if he stalked them, then he sure is a confused stalker. I mean, I don't get it.
Yeah, Mark, and that's, you know, when it comes to the only reason I thought about going over Linda Lane ever again would just be the 2-hour period, honestly. When it came to that, because I do feel that I don't know. I need to see more with the time. I still have questions with the timestamp. You know what I mean? Is it coincidental? Yes. Definitely have questions regarding the timestamp, though. The sounds, I don't put a lot into the sounds, honestly. So back to the white sedan. Yeah. A white sedan, you could find, you could walk outside and look to the left and look to the right, and I bet you find at least one or two. You don't even have to go anywhere. You just turn your neck. That's it.
Yes, I told you that I was walking my dog and I saw this white Elantra with all the windows down and this guy that looked disheveled with a baby's car seat in the back with a kid back there, and he was driving the neighborhood. I thought, this is creepy, but when I finally saw what he was doing, he was driving the kid around, you know, to calm him down. And it was a white Elantra.
Yeah. Too many of them. Stardust, that's something we checked out way back in December. The whole Papa Rogers stuff, we checked that out way back in December. I think we revisited Papa Rogers stuff back in the spring sometime. But no, I never thought Papa Rogers was BK. I always thought Papa Rogers was somebody that was close to the investigation. Never thought it was BK. I don't even think it looks like him. It's actually based on a person. The photo is, it's a real person. But no, we explored Papa Rogers stuff in December. Oh, you're good, Star. You're good. No, it's, hey, Star, if I'm sick, seriously, just type in, like, if there's something you want to check out, just type in my name. Excuse me, I'm sorry. Just type in my name, Evil CJ, and then type in the name or whatever, and it'll pop up with the episodes that I talked about. Those on. I just feel like after we did all of our digging, after I did all my digging, I just, no. It's just not. But I'm not a detective, you know, so I don't know. All right, here's the white sedan. Ooh, I thought I put it at normal speed. There we go. And I can't play the music because I'll get hit like crazy. It'll take me like 2 days to edit out the video. More of the PCA, more of the routes. And let me pull up a link to the PCA if you'd like to have it for yourself. All you have to do is go to go to the PCA and boom, you have all this right there. And I've done videos on that too. Just go to the video section. I have a whole bunch of highlights. In Payne's affidavit, he described a vehicle picked up on neighborhood cameras as a white sedan. Is there possibly a white colored sedan located in the area described in the... Oh, well, yeah, because you can look left, you can look right, and you could find a freaking sedan, yo. Especially a white sedan. I mean, you could... That's what I'm saying. I want to play his dart game because I'd be coming out with the big ass, like, teddy bear as big as me. And she'd think corn dogs was the best freaking gore meal she ever had. You know, it's like, damn, just that big teddy bear. The Moscow police, thank you. The Moscow police and assisting law enforcement have received tips and camera footage of a vehicle from the night of November 13th, 2022, described it as either white or light colored car or a white sedan is seen here. Boom. The car, which Franchish described as both white and light colored, traveled west on Taylor. Rode sometime between 2:45 a.m. and 3:15 a.m. He said only a side view of the car is visible in the footage. Really? Do you guys want to see the corner? And it's like way far away too. Like, I don't see how... All right, let me take you there. I don't see how it... Okay, you could tell it's a white car, but how are they saying that's... Where in the hell? There it is. Okay, this isn't even the security footage. I don't know how you're going to get... Look, that's how... This is a camera. All right? I don't understand how you're going to... We already explored this area, but look. I mean, okay, this is Google. I'm this far back. Okay, I'm not even zoomed in. All right? And I'm still like way back here. I'm not even zoomed in. And this is Google. This is not even freaking a camera. You could throw anything in there. All right, it says former Washington, D.C. homicide detective Ted Williams says, I'm not being critical of law enforcement, Williams said during a recent interview with Fox. What I'm saying is you must bring the public along to assist you in an investigation of this nature. On December 7th, the Moscow Police Department asked the public for help searching for the car that was seen driving close to the off-campus house where Ethan Chapin Zana Kernodle, Kaylee Goncalves, and Madison Mogan were unalived during the early hours of November 13th. The mere fact that within 24 hours of the crime of these 4 college students, they were able to identify that there was a white or light-colored car in the vicinity that they needed to try and identify. You do not wait 3 weeks, Williams says. Yeah, you can... Oh my gosh, a white car drove by this apartment building way back. Oh, wow. Like, how do you... Could you tell how many people were in there? Could you tell if it was missing a hubcap? Could you even tell if it had tinted windows? How do you know? The former homicide investigator added that it is unclear to him why a Moscow gas station clerk found video footage of a white sedan passing by early on the morning on November 13th before LE did. Fox reported that on November 14th, detectives collected 8 hours of surveillance footage from a local gas station about a mile away from the crime scene, but it was a clerk who saw a white sedan passing by the gas station on video footage at 3:45 a.m. the morning of the crime. There is absolutely no way that a clerk at a gas station should be canvassing a video for valuable information needed by law enforcement, says Williams. Williams has been following the case since news of the unbelievable tragedy took place. Very valid questions.
Yeah.
And they did say that. And that's the photo. The digital evidence submitted by Mr. Franchich and Mobile were received by LE. They will never see the light of day because of their exculpatory value. That's why LE didn't... Could LE have Could LE... Think about this. This is a photo off of a monitor from a phone. Do you not think that LE has a clearer photo of that frickin' vehicle? Let's be honest. This is off a monitor through somebody's phone that has a bunch of reflection to it. It's not the original source, which is what LE has. LE never came out with it. They gave us a stock photo. Why didn't they give us the clear photo of this vehicle?
And you see the phone up there to the left. You see the two. It looks like
Right
an
here.
alien. It
Yeah,
actually looks like
the
an
cameras.
alien.
They would have much clearer picture.
Yeah.
And they have this footage. And it's like they said, I bet you it even, I bet you the real footage shows how many people are in the frickin' car. No, I'm serious. I'm serious.
So.
I bet you the shows the real. I bet you can see how many people are in that vehicle, because look at the lighting on the vehicle itself. It's bright.
Well,
I don't think the windows were tinted, and I think it showed multiple people. That's why they kept saying suspects.
And I just remember in the PCA there was some reference to, there was a video of a suspect video. And we were laughing, we were joking about that, but it didn't make sense. But I don't know, it says there was a video of a suspect video.
Right. Video of a suspect video. Yeah.
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 Okay, so you saw a video of a sus video?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
Yeah. It's video of a suspect video.
It didn't make any
Suspect
sense.
video. It doesn't. It's the wordplay. It's the confusion. It's the confetti. It's the fog.
And I think everything else, if they didn't have the DNA, everything else, a judge might have said, bring me more. Like, this isn't enough. But I think when they got into the DNA, the judge can't make the judge just has to take what Ellie says,
Yeah.
like they did this.
Well, they have to because they're supposed to be the ones that are doing the investigating.
Right.
And, he's the one that's there to delegate.
Right.
Right.
So other thing, like when it comes to scientific stuff, if the Ellie says they got this scientific stuff, blah, blah, blah,
You
the
have to
judge
believe 'em.
can't, the judge can't say, you have to believe him. And then the defense, it's like, let the defense attorney deal with that. But for now, I have this, I have to believe him.
Mm-hmm. For sure. Thank you. I appreciate that, Mark and Betty. I should be, camera flash. I mean, just imagine. And they gave us a stock photo. That's what we, hell, that's what the victims got was a stock photo when damn well they had way clearer photo. 51 terabytes, damn well they got this video, yo. Why wasn't this picture put out? Because if you knew the route everywhere they were going and this and this and this, right? Look at the PCA. If you knew where they were going.
Yeah.
Why didn't you release this clearer photo? Because it's about catching the people, right? Of course. No damn sense.
Mm-mm.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and end the show, everybody. I'm going to chill back, play some video games, hang out at the lounge for a little bit before I go to sleep. Get some extra rest. I'll be back for Delphi tomorrow. Idaho4 tomorrow night again. And I'll be putting out the notification. I don't know. I might just do it tomorrow in the morning for Saturday. Yeah, I'll just do it in the morning. I'm pooped. I'm exhausted.
Yeah.
I'm ready to chill. Thank you so much for hanging out, Yoli. If you're available tomorrow at any time, just let me know. And I'll go ahead and send you a link. Appreciate you guys hanging out tonight. And sorry I'm not feeling too good, but
we'll get some rest.
We'll get some rest tonight. And if you're bored, I'll be up for a little bit, hanging out at the lounge, doing some games and stuff. So.
I'll be working.
Yeah, I know. I need to take a break. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Appreciate you.
Good
we'll
night.
see you tomorrow 2 times.
Bye.
Good night, everybody.